Com.
Your trip today.
Your home for Armed American Radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Launching a lightning counteroffensive, Ukraine's military reports retaking several more villages, driving Russian forces right back to the country's northeast border. The BBC's Steve Rosenberg with the view from Moscow.
Outwardly, the Kremlin is not panicking. Today, President Putin's spokesman said that Russia's special military operation in Ukraine continues and will continue until all the tasks initially set have been fulfilled. But there are definitely signs of concern in the Russian leadership. Last night, Russian state TV's flagship news program, normally very upbeat about all things Kremlin, began with the presenter admitting that Russian troops had pulled back from Kharkiv region. On the front lines, he said, this has been the toughest week so far.
Delivering his first address to Parliament as king, Charles III visited London's Westminster Hall earlier today, where both houses of Parliament met, expressing their condolences on the loss of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II.
King Charles says in reply to the condolences, he feels the historic importance of the moment.
As I stand before you today, I cannot help but feel the weight of history which surrounds us and which reminds us of the vital parliamentary traditions to which members of both houses dedicate yourselves with such personal commitment for the betterment of us all.
While in Edinburgh, the first members of the public are paying respects to the Queen. Charles de Ledesma, London.
Parts of the northeast bracing for the possibility of flooding rains in the next day or two as a powerful storm moves across the region from the upper Midwest. On Wall Street, Dow futures are up 76 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 48. More on these stories at townhall.com.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Irish airline Aer Lingus says a major IT outage forced it to cancel all Dublin-originating flights to European destinations over the weekend, as well as many flights from Europe.
The problem at a UK network provider rendered unavailable check-in, boarding, and the company's website. A company spokesperson said connectivity was eventually restored and services came back online. The provider was not identified by Aer Lingus, which said it was not treating the incident as a cyber attack. The airline said 51 flights were canceled, with transatlantic flights unaffected.
Correspondent Jeremy House. A visiting U.S. diplomat urges Sri Lankan authorities to tackle corruption and introduce governance reforms alongside efforts to uplift the country's economy as a way out of its worst crisis in recent memory. U.S. Aid Administrator Samantha Power telling reporters such moves will increase international trust in the government's intentions. Townhall.com. A teen wins the U.S. Open Men's Championship.
Spain's Carlos Alcaraz has written himself into the tennis history books by securing his first major win at the U.S. Open. The 19-year-old Spaniard became the first teenager to reach the top of the ATP World Rankings, and he did it by toughing out another lengthy New York battle, securing the 3-hour and 20-minute slugfest over Norway's Casper Ruud 6-4, 2-6, 7-6, 6-3. Alcaraz had reached his first Grand Slam final on the back of 3 consecutive 5-set battles, but still somehow had enough energy to close out his historic win. I'm Graham Agars.
ISIS has killed 6 U.S.-backed Syrian fighters in eastern Syria. saying that the killing was in retaliation for an ongoing operation inside a huge camp housing tens of thousands of family members of the terrorist group. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Monday.
Well, yeah, if you say it that way.
Happy Monday, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Just, it's Monday.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's really not a whole lot of getting around that one.
Uh-huh. Cowboys fans probably not too happy this morning.
Yeah, well, I'm a Packers fan, so I don't want to talk about it.
I'm a Commanders fan. They won.
Shut up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is Bizarro week. Your team won. Something wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't the prettiest wins, but it was a win. It was a gut check.
By hook or by crook.
Well, they did. They won. They had a quarterback that threw the ball around to people, and the guys caught it. That's nice. We don't see that very often in our football team. You know, the guys running the ball. You know, it's like actual football being played out there. It was kind of weird. So it was kind of nice to see that. So
who'd have thunk?
I was
just go out there and play the game.
I was happy.
Yeah, we got destroyed. I don't know what game.
Oh, the Pack?
I don't know what game the Packers were playing, but it was not football.
Well, my fantasy team is getting destroyed. I think if the Denver defense gets like 80 points tonight, I win.
Really? There you go.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's a slight chance. Oh, Denver's looking good this season.
Well, I hope that defense is just unpenetrable. Because I need 80 points.
Just a wall of walls.
Yeah, so happy Monday, everybody. Hope all of you are having a delightful weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I, of course, had high school football Friday night.
Yep.
And I'm just happy everything worked.
It was, it's always interesting going into it just to kind of watch it all.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of moving parts on a Friday night, and there's always a couple things that don't quite work out. But, it was a good Friday. Everything worked from our end, and no complaints there. So. Yeah. Or something else I was going to mention. I just completely spaced out on it. I can't remember what it was. Oh, well. It was something not important, probably. I don't know. Just something in my head that just kind of sat there, and I was like, "Oh, remember to talk about it." And then it's time to talk about it, and remember to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of one of those deals. But anyway, how was your weekend?
It's good. Had a great turnout at the
car show.
Yeah, the car show, the Hometown Heroes car show in commemoration of 9/11. That was a great turnout out there. Real good crowd. Big thanks to Roswell Ford. Big thanks to all the sponsors and the vendors out there for making that event a success. It was cool though. My kids went to Second Saturday with my friend Misty and her kids over at the Roswell Museum and Art Center, and then met us over at the Wool Bowl. I had the first terrified parent moment of really my life while I was out there. Yeah. So Rhiannon's on one of the jelly jumps. She's fine. Usually she does her thing and kind of hangs out there for a while. So I figured I would wander over with Hunter, let him do the hose thing and kind of, knock down the bottles, whatever. Like 3 minutes, I wander away from Rhiannon. Next thing I know, I go back over to that Jolly Jump. She's gone.
No.
And in this event full of people, it was like packed like the fair out there at points.
Right.
And so I'm like in a panic and also trying to do my job, because I'm there on remote.
Playing DJ.
Right. But I'm like running around like, Rhiannon! Freaking out. Thinking nobody would take her, but, and if they would, they'd bring her back, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Because... Have you dealt with her? But no, she had just wandered back over to the towards the boombox is what had happened. She thought I was going back over there to work.
So you were you're two ships passing in the night.
Yeah. So it was a real scary moment, but it's all good and it all worked out.
Good. But you probably aged a good year or two there.
We'll call it like 9 months.
All right.
Yeah.
Good deal.
It's a good solid gestation cycle.
Good deal. Yeah, it was relatively quiet for the most part. I mean, just worked around the house a little bit Saturday, doing some stuff, and then watched football yesterday. Did a little shopping and honeydews kind of things. Nothing too exciting. Just kind of hung at the home for the weekend, and went out and about here and there.
I did see something on Saturday that I was kind of intrigued by. I think I need to bring it in for us to try. Then there's a new mystery flavor of Mountain Dew out.
Uh-oh.
It's called Voodoo 22.
Oh boy.
And it's a mystery flavor. There's a zero sugar variety, so I'm gonna grab some of that up and let us sample it.
What color is it?
I'm not sure. I'm not. You know what? I think this is another one of those examples of they're rinsing out the batch tubs like they do with the mystery flavor Airheads and all that. It's like not meant to be any specific flavor. I think what it is, they had a big run of Baja Blast over the summer.
Yeah.
And now they're kind of like rinsing out the Baja Blast, tumblers or whatever.
Blasting out the Baja.
Yeah, they're blasting out the Baja. And I think it's probably just an amalgamation of all of their Baja flavors.
Okay.
Or they just had a bunch of like Baja syrup to get rid of, so they just threw it all together. Is my guess. This is. I feel like we've entered that period of time where big companies, like the big corporations, are figuring out a way to get rid of their waste in a way that's profitable. On the bottom line to the bottom line.
Well, enjoy it.
It just seems odd that all of a sudden all these companies are coming out with mystery flavors. It's like,
I think there's I think it's just. I think they're just trying to keep up with craft sodas.
Yeah.
I think there was a whole buzz there with craft sodas, and so now all the Coca-Cola and Pepsi and these guys are all trying to keep up.
Thing is,
they're
they're not doing a good job.
I know, but that's what
They need to go back to their old strategy of letting other companies do a really good thing or make a really good thing and then buying them up 100% and owning them. That was the old method, and that seemed to be fine for them.
Yeah. Well, whatever floats their boat. So, let me do the rundown.
Yes.
I haven't done any of that yet. Here, Matt's been just patiently waiting here while we talk about weird soda flavors.
He's over here taking notes. I think he's stealing soda ideas. I think he's going to start a company.
I got a new flavor.
Hey, jot this down. Bring back Josta.
Guac Fusion.
Guac Fusion.
But Matt Bristol with Bristol Office going to join us here in just a few minutes. He pops in each month to give us sage legal advice, so he will do that again here in just a bit. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, got some free time, so we're going to replay our interview we had last Thursday. Crystal Noble with the Humane Society joined us, give us an update on what's happening there as they were down with COVID. So they're kind of, things have been closed, so they talk about that. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, Tracy Fry with the Roswell Public Library is going to join us, give us an update on what's happening out at the Roswell Library.
Very good.
All the upcoming things as they're full on into back to school mode now there. Plus,
full blown full time.
There you go. Full time.
Full time. I was just trying to work in the phrase full blown.
Full blown.
You don't ever hear that anymore.
No. I'm assuming it's a Glass reference.
Well, the only time I ever heard it was referring to HIV.
But I hear full blown. I mean, you blow glass.
It's fully blown.
I'm guessing it's a Glass reference.
Well, or one's mind.
Glass. Maybe. But what came first?
Glass.
Blowing of the mind? Or blowing
once
of
you
the
saw
glass?
blown glass.
Your mind was blown. There you go. It's like, was it one of those insurance commercials with people say it's just...
One lends itself to the other.
Exactly. So, let's see. It is 7:14. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty nice today. We'll stay at around the 90-degree mark on the afternoon high, and we have high pressure overhead, so we get sunshine. Overnight, a few clouds and our low in the mid-60s, and then it looks like a mix of sunshine and clouds coming up on Tuesday. We'll stay in the upper 80s across most of the area, and we could pick up a late-day shower or thunderstorms, scattered thunderstorms on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. And currently, helps if I have the weather up. That's always important. Currently 60 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 84%. Winds are calm at the moment. Sunny today. Highs right around 90 expected. So at some point, the clouds will burn off here and get some sun. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight. Looking at an overnight low of 65 degrees with southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tuesday, there is a 30% chance at some showers for tomorrow afternoon, mostly sunny otherwise. High around 88 expected. Winds out of the southwest 5 to 15 miles per hour. 20% chance of showers for tomorrow night as well, mainly before midnight. Otherwise, mostly cloudy. Overnight low of 62 with south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. 40% chance of rain for Wednesday for the afternoon. Partly cloudy, high of 85 with south winds 5 to 15. 20% chance of rain Wednesday night, partly cloudy and 63. Looking at the rest of the week, sunny, high of 88 for Thursday, sunny and 90 for your Friday. And then just glancing at the weekend, sunny 91 Saturday, sunny 92 on Sunday. All right, 7:16, we're going to take you into a quick commercial break. Actually, first, your Roswell Livestock Report with Smiley Woot, and then a quick break. And then Matt Bristol with Bristol Law Office going to join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A decent pre-fall run for today. We expect to sell 700 head, breaking down like this: 100, 125 weighing cows and bulls, 75 to 100 cow-calf pairs and bred cows, 450, 500 calves and yearlings today's sale. Will include 15 to 20 cow-calf pairs, mostly excellent quality English crossbreds with Angus calves inside. Pairs 5 to 10 years old. 50 to 75 bred cows today, mostly excellent quality black, white face, red, white face English cross cows, bred to Angus bulls 5 to 9 years old. 58 calves, the Nelson family, Pintada, New Mexico, excellent quality black, white face Angus cross calves, shots at Brandon, 400, 500 pounds. 21 calves, Lent Ranch, Bosque Farms, New Mexico, excellent quality ex-roping calves, weaned long time, thin condition, 250, 350 pounds. 15 yearlings, Kincaid Brothers, Pinon, good quality Brangus cross yearlings, right off grass, 700, 900 pounds. 32 calves, Mr. Rudy Marquez, Milagro, New Mexico, ex-quality black Angus crosses, shots at Brandon, 300, 450 pounds. 13 calves, ex-Diamond Tail Ranch, Quemada, New Mexico, excellent quality English crossbred calves, weaned 60 days, 400, 550 pounds. Sale time this morning will be 9 o'clock. Sell pairs bred cows 9:45 to 10. Be selling calves and yearlings about 10:30. We expect to sell 700 head today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Sure, you can inspect your own roof, get out that rickety ladder, crawl around up there and try to spot the problem until... Or you can call the experts at Do Right Roofing. Do Right Roofing has quality products for any type of roof. They can even install seamless gutters. Do Right Roofing will inspect your roof and give you a free estimate fast. Keep your feet on the ground. Call Do Right Roofing today.
575-623-2273. Let Do Right do your roof right.
Find them fast in names and numbers. Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
This is Dallas Cowboys football 2022.
In the gun, Prescott, inside handoff, Elliott.
Only heard here.
Bouncing right with a convoy to the 5, near the pylon.
all season.
Touchdown, Ezekiel Elliott, 13 yards.
Sunday afternoon, it's your Cowboys and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Live from AT&T Stadium.
On this Dallas Cowboys radio network station.
Pre-game 1:30, kickoff at 2:30 on Southeastern Mexico's official Cowboy station, 92.9 The Brand.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The U.S. Treasury once considered producing donut-shaped coins. They instead decided to go with coin-shaped donuts. Here's Mike Winters.
They don't taste as good. Good morning. It is 20 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, all the way from the fourth floor here in the J.P. White building, Matt Bristol with Bristol Law Office back with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. How are you doing?
Doing great. How about yourself? How's your weekend?
Oh, it was nice and quiet. Got some work done at the office and the house. How about yours?
Good. About the same. Got some work around the house done and just hanging out and, time with family, things like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you and Sean were talking about blowing glass, and I was wondering who the first idiot was that says, let's put this molten glob on the end of a pipe and blow into it.
Yeah.
Who was that guy?
I think it's the same guy that looked at a crab and said, that looks delicious.
Well, I can see that more, if you're starving to death.
That's true. There's a desperation factor there.
Yeah, if the seagull's eating it, maybe just edible. So I don't know.
Of course, this guy may have been like, man, I wish I could put water in something other than my hand. But it's a lot of those inventions. You always wonder, it's like, who's the first person who thought this was an interesting idea?
Well, I think probably a lot of it was by accident. For example, have you ever made bagels?
I have. I was a bagel baker for half a minute when I was a teenager.
There you go. You have to boil the bagel. I'm sure that came about by accident.
Yeah, one fell in, probably a boiling water, and
And we didn't have enough to waste, so let's cook it anyway and see what happens.
Yeah, that's why they say the New York bagels are the best, because the fluoride, they always claim New York City has great water, so they always say that's why the best bagels are in New York City. They say it's the water, is what I hear.
I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
All I know is I've eaten bagels in New York City, and I cannot dispute the fact that they have the best bagels, because I've had none better since those up there in that region. So,
well, awesome. We need to make a field trip then.
There you go. Well, in this day and age, you can order them online.
That's true.
Of course, you don't get the freshness that you would if you were actually in a bagel in New York City, but
Well, that's true. We've ordered from a deli in New York before a couple times.
I have too, and it's not bad with bagel. I've done bagels and I think seafood once, and it wasn't too. It was expensive as all get out, but pretty tasty. So.
Yeah, I think we did corned beef stuff.
A little delicatessen type.
Oh
stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Get some good knishes shipped. Remember, we're getting off track here. I'm already thinking food and getting there going here. But for folks that aren't familiar, Matt joins us once a month, and we talk sage legal advice. Whether it's talking for your business, for your families, usually that information kind of crosses both that line and helps both people's businesses and people's families. But we spent a lot of time talking about that kind of stuff, and of course last month, of course you were with Sean last month, but you were talking a little bit more with the business side of things and protecting assets and things like that. So
we talked about different kinds of business organizations. And we talk about that stuff, and then somebody comes in the office, and apparently they don't listen to your radio show because they are like clueless.
See, if they were one of the 7 that does.
But a lot of people do their own stuff, and that's not always the best. Not always the best.
Sometimes you luck out in doing the right. The right thing you did was dumb, but especially if you. A little bit of information can be more dangerous than none sometimes. And when people have a little bit, yeah.
Well, LLCs, for example, limited liability companies, you can go online to the Secretary of State, and online you can fill out the paperwork, and poof, you are one.
Yeah.
Probably LegalZoom, same thing, except they don't tell you how to walk like an LLC, talk like an LLC, so you get the legal protection of the LLC.
Sure.
So I call it the duck speech. You got to walk like a duck and quack like a duck.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you don't do that, then guess what? Those protections and things that you thought you had, you do not have. So
that's right. We see that a lot, especially when the oil patch went down. A lot of service companies would say, well, my LLC needs to file a bankruptcy. And I'd say, well, once you come in, let's talk about it. And so we talk. And so did you advertise as an LLC? Was it on your letterhead? So you have to put the world on notice. You're an LLC. That's part of walking like a duck, quacking like a duck.
Yeah.
So it has to be, if you got your name on the truck, it's got to say LLC on the truck and business cards.
I didn't get in an argument per se, but we had a mom and pop business. This was years ago. Mom and pop business owner, wanting their business, and it's an LLC. They, but they wanted to advertise it, and so I was writing the script for them and making, the thing, and she's like, "Can you take LLC out of there?" I was like, "Not if you want your protections." And she's
exactly.
like, and she was kind of insistent that it came out. I was like, "You don't understand. Read up on your," and she wouldn't listen to me. And,
oh wow!
I was like, "Well, it's on you at that point." But
yeah, here, sign this release, lady. Yeah. That and how you sign contracts is important. A lot of people don't sign as an LLC. They end up being personally liable on all the business contracts.
Yeah.
And that's where we end up like 90% of the time is they didn't sign like a duck.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that lack of attention to detail, I mean, that's the difference a lot of times. And is it, when they talk about that kind of stuff, is it, like if you do it 90% of the time and miss one, does that still disqualify you, or like
as to that particular contract? Yeah.
Okay, but not maybe in general. Like if you say you had a commercial out there, but all your other stuff had LLC on it, could that potentially put you in trouble?
It depends on whether the other party only heard the radio spot without the LLC.
Gotcha. So it really depends on who's suing them, per se.
Depends on who's suing them, but at some point, somebody's got to come to the business.
Gotcha.
And if you got LLC plastered on the front door, then, hello.
You're covered.
Put you on notice, yeah. So Mike Winters would sign 106.5 LLC by Mike Winters, member.
Gotcha.
106.5 LLC. So it's kind of like having a power of attorney when you say Mike Winters POA for somebody.
Gotcha.
So you have to disclose you're acting on behalf of a different entity.
And this is something you've talked about in the past, where you can run into that problem if you have the LLC, but you sign as you, the individual, and not you, the LLC.
Oh, yeah.
You're changing liabilities from the LLC to you. If you don't sign it as Mike Winters on behalf of LLC, and you just put Mike Winters, if this thing goes down, they ain't coming after the LLC. They're coming after Mike Winters because that's who signed it.
That's who signed it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a huge faux pas. We see that a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah. And it seems like something that simple can, it shouldn't be that dangerous, but it just is, because if you, and this is kind of why it's about paying attention. Like when your parents, or if you join the military and they got you to pay attention to detail so much, this is the reason why, is because of something this simple could literally change someone's life for the worse.
For the worse, yeah.
Or for the better, depending, if you do pay attention to detail.
Well, the corporation's the same way. If it's 106.5 Inc., then you would sign Mike Winters, President, 106.5 Inc. So again, you have to disclose that you're acting on behalf of a corporate entity.
Gotcha. So something that delineates that you are, in fact, the whatever part of the company, not the individual person.
Right. You're not acting on your own behalf. You're acting on behalf of a different. So the law considers corporations and LLCs separate legal entities.
Gotcha.
And that's the source of confusion for a lot of people, which is normal. And that's a normal person. We spent a lot of time on that in law school, hammering that into us, that they're separate legal entities. I had somebody come in the other day. They said, "Oh yeah, I got the deed, and I want to put the deed into the the separate LLC." And so, like, oh, okay, this is a commercial business. I said, "Well, I need to see a copy of the deed. So I need who the grantor is. I need a legal description, all that good stuff." And so they had done it themselves, naturally. So the deed was to Mike Winters, a married man, as a sole and separate property, DBA 106.5 LLC. And it's like, that's backwards.
Right.
DBA is an LLC. An LLC is a separate separate legal entity.
Gotcha.
And so that's just another source of confusion that's pretty normal for folks.
Right.
But if they had just spent the time to talk to an attorney about the right way to do it.
Mm-hmm. And that's basically, you know, if you're listening this morning, I know a lot of this can get a little, you know, in the weeds on some of this stuff, but if you take nothing else from this conversation here, it's when you're talking about setting up your business and how you want to set up that business, in which, you know, whether it's a partnership or an LLC or whatever, you know, however you want to go in that direction. But you got to fully understand what you're committing yourself to. And if you take nothing else from this morning's discussion, is whenever you're making these decisions, it's good to have a legal representative look over this stuff to make sure you fully understand exactly what you're signing your name to or committing your business or yourself to. And that's unfortunately, most people don't see the forest from the trees on that one, and they're thinking, oh, I'm going to get the keys to my new business and I'm going to get all that going, and I realize that the strings you just attach to those keys by not paying attention to what you're signing. So.
Yeah, there's the whole set of laws that apply to LLC stuff.
Yeah.
And if you don't inquire and educate yourself ahead of time, you're probably going to get an expensive lesson somewhere down the road.
Yeah.
And even though it's, well, I just got this little business, it's no big deal. It's, well, the laws still apply, and you don't act like a duck, you're not going to be treated like a duck.
Yeah. And I know enough to know that ignorance of the law does not excuse you from the law.
That's right. That's right. The I didn't know better doesn't count.
That doesn't matter if it's civil or criminal. That does not matter. Just because you didn't know doesn't make you exempt from it. So
that defense does not work. No.
Now, they might cut you a break in sentencing, you know, depending on how good your story is. But you know, just because you didn't know you weren't supposed to shoot someone doesn't mean you're excused from shooting someone.
Just because you didn't see the speed limit sign doesn't mean you're not getting a ticket.
Yep, exactly. So
had another client come in, and they had an LLC, and it was a multi-member LLC, and he wanted to dissolve the partnership. And I'm like, I'm confused now. So we got a dog and a cat? How does that work? I said, why don't you come in and tell me about what's going on?
Maybe the vocabulary is a little different here or something. But,
so it's a multi-member LLC. Okay. And when you have multi-members, you have what's called an operating agreement.
Okay.
So the operating agreement basically says this is everybody's job or not everybody's job.
Okay.
So typically there's one person who's the managing member, and that's what the operating agreement says. And it says, or this is how we split the profits. If there's extra expenses, this is how we split them. Usually there's a buyout provision kind of stuff. But nope, they made a partnership agreement with the LLC members.
That's weird.
It is really weird, yeah. So, but that's a common source of confusion where people kind of mix baking soda, baking powder, kind of sounds the same, so it must be the same.
Now, is there any convoluted way where it actually made sense what they did, or?
Well, it was basically an operating agreement.
Okay.
But they called it the wrong name.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I'm not sure how much it'd get them in trouble. And so one of the partners was basically cutting my guy out of the business.
Okay.
And so he wanted to know, well, what could he do? And I said, well, you know, you got to cut, you know, one option is always do nothing. May not be a good option, but one option is do nothing. And I said, you know, my concern is who applied for the federal tax ID number and under what name? I said, he says, oh, I got the federal ID number, the EIN. I said, well, was it in your name or the LLC name? And what about the sales tax number? It's called the CRS-1, gross receipts tax. So, you know, I have to collect sales tax and pay sales tax over to the state. And so I asked him who got that. And he said, he got that one. And I said, well, in your name or the LLC name? And he says, well, he wasn't sure. I said, well, that is my major concern, is if that sales tax number's in your individual name and this person goes on and does business and doesn't pay sales tax. I said, guess
they're going to come to her. Yeah.
They're going to come to you because that sales tax number was in your name.
Sure.
And you're going to say, but I wasn't doing any business. They're going to say, we don't care. The state's going to say, we don't care. It was your number and somebody was doing business using your number, and so that's my major concern.
Generally, and just in the reality of things, when a scenario like that happens, I know priority one, especially if the other party's looking to go after the money, whether it's a government or another private entity. In those situations when a mistake is made like that, how often does it happen where it really screws the party versus, okay, we understand you made a mistake, we can fix it from here? Or what I mean by that is, say you make a clerical mistake like that, but you're part of the solution to it, is what I mean. Like say in this instance, like this person's name and their name, and then they go off and not pay the sales tax, and they come to you, and you're like, I didn't know, but I'm helping you to recover it. Does that often, more times than not, help alleviate your problems per se if you're working? I mean, does that happen pretty often where somebody screwed up something here, but if they're part of the rectification of it, does that make sense? I know I'm trying to be very vanilla without being specific, but being specific.
Well, I don't know. But my advice to this guy was just, first of all, you find out, is it in your name or the LLC name?
Right.
If it's in the LLC name, you're good to go. But if it's in your individual name, then you need to see if you can get it transferred to the LLC.
I just didn't know if it, like in your experience, whether it's private or not, where parties were willing to say, okay, in the spirit of compromise, we realize you made a mistake. We're gonna let you fix this here in exchange for this. Or
usually, the taxing authorities aren't very forgiving.
Okay, I just didn't know if you did something like this, was it be all you're screwed, or a lot of times if you're honest up front and genuinely made a mistake, they're usually a little bit more working with you on trying to resolve the issue.
I just don't know, because most of the time people, it's very unusual for somebody to say, well, they really owe the tax, I'll help you get it from them.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, in your personal experience, like in cases you've seen over the years and things, were the parties generally amenable to working out mistakes, or were usually someone said, nope, that's where you screwed up, this is where I got you, this is what you're doing for me?
Well, taxation and revenue is pretty serious stuff.
Gotcha.
I'd rather work with the IRS than taxation and revenue.
They're IRS a little more forgiving, if that's possible.
Well, the other problem with this multi-member LLC business is when you do the tax return, there's actually a little box you can check that says corporate or partnership.
Okay.
And in theory, if you check corporate for multi-member LLC and you don't pay your sales tax, the corporation's liable for the sales tax. But if you check partnership, then that means you're going to be individually liable if sales tax isn't paid.
Gotcha.
And so that was another concern for my guy. It was because they had the partnership agreement where they're going to check the wrong box on the tax return.
Okay.
So I said, if it's in your name, you just need to get it out of your name, transfer it, cancel it, do something.
How often or not do a lot of these types of, whether it's deliberate, I mean, the deliberate ones probably see jail time, depending on the severity of it and things like that. But how often or not does it get to that kind of stuff where you're messing up these things like that result in, time behind bars type stuff, not just restitution type things? I don't know. It has to prove. I'm guessing it's, the thing is, you got to prove that you intentionally were trying to defraud somebody for it to become criminal.
I don't know. I don't do criminal law, so I don't know. Most of the people that I work with, they small businesses that went under. They didn't pay their sales tax. They didn't pay their payroll tax, but the government tries to collect, but they haven't seen anybody go to jail.
When does it go from civilly to criminally like that? Is when they find out that you actually broke a law trying to not pay your taxes or whatever. I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like, at what point does it become a criminal thing from a civil thing?
My guess would be intent.
Okay.
If you're stupid, okay, there's no intent to commit a crime if you're stupid. Maybe, but tax evasion is illegal.
Gotcha.
Tax avoidance is legal.
Okay.
So if you were to a lot of small business guys, they pocket money, the cash that comes in the front door, and they don't report it as income. Okay, that's tax evasion.
Gotcha.
You also failed to pay sales tax.
Okay. So it's better if you're trying to hide the money and they find it, that's illegal. But if you're just broke and can't pay it, then that's more civil.
Hopefully so, yeah.
And I guess they say rule of thumb or sniff test.
But I did know a couple. There's husband, wife, and husband was in business. They had a sole proprietorship. And wife had a separate job, full-time job. So they go through a divorce. And wife finds out that he hasn't been paying the business income tax.
Uh-oh.
And of course, when it comes tax time and your spouse says sign the return, you just sign the return. I haven't met anybody yet that knows how to actually read a tax return. So the IRS comes after her because the tax liabilities were created during the marriage.
Okay.
And the divorce decree, it says he's supposed to pay him, is only effective between them. It's not binding on the IRS.
Okay.
So she says, "What do I do, Matt? What do I do? I don't have that kind of money. It's tens and thousands of dollars." I said, "Well, apply for the Innocent Spouse Act." So there's a innocent spouse provision in the IRS code that if you're an innocent spouse, you didn't know what was going on.
Gotcha.
You're not liable for the tax liability.
You can play dumb legally and be off the hook, basically.
So she filled out the application and they wanted an interview. And I said, she goes, "What do I do in the interview?" I said, "Okay, take a deep breath. Calm down. Okay, so you tell them that you never filed any kind of sales tax report. That wasn't your job, was to file those reports. You didn't file any kind of payroll tax reports. That wasn't your job. You had a full-time job somewhere else. In fact, that you never went to the business to do any business."
So basically just prove you don't have any dealings whatsoever with the business, which sounds like that's what was going on.
Never signed any check to pay any bill, payroll, nothing.
The truth shall set you free.
Well, and so we talked through it. I said, "This is what they want to know. This is what they want to know." And so ultimately she was held to be an innocent spouse.
Gotcha.
So that was a happy ending.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, and now just as curiosity, was it complete lack of knowledge on the spouse's part about why the taxes weren't paid, or was it something nefarious and they were trying to attach the spouse to it?
So the husband?
Yeah.
The husband just wasn't paying.
Gotcha.
Just
dumbness, or just thinking he could save a buck?
He's using it to buy toys and new trucks and four-wheelers and that kind of stuff.
I never claimed to be the smartest man on the planet, not even remotely close, but I am smart enough to know that there is no such thing as a free ride, and when you think you're getting over on someone, it will bite you in the tail sometime. It may be years down the road. It may be decades down the road. It may be next hour, but it will eventually catch up to you at some point. It's just gonna happen. I've lived on this earth long enough to know it. You're never gonna beat those systems. Even when you think you have, it's going to come back and rear its ugly head some point in your life. So don't do it, and avoid it altogether. And that's true in legal or any other facet of life.
That's true.
Yeah.
So LLCs, to follow up on that, they are what are called pass-through tax entities. Or if you're a corporation and you start life as a corporation, you're what's called a C Corp. And the shareholders elect sub-S status. So again, you'll be taxed as a sole proprietor.
Okay.
So LLCs, sub-S corps are taxed as sole proprietors. So there's some people that report very little income in their business because they want to, quote, pay the tax on it.
Right.
The problem is that's also Social Security and Medicare tax that's being paid on your income.
Okay.
So if you have very little reported income, you're paying very little Social Security and Medicare. And with Social Security, you only get out what you put in.
Gotcha.
So they think they're being clever by hiding all this income and not paying income tax on it, but they're screwing themselves
in the future.
In the future,
because you're robbing
Social
basically
Security
future
check.
you to pay you now, basically.
Yeah, your Social Security check is going to be minute.
Interesting.
So people
just-
think they're clever, but they're not.
Which, again, I guess is okay if you've planned accordingly to where you don't need to rely on that Social Security later on in life.
Most people aren't that clever.
Exactly. If they're pulling this kind of stuff now, odds are they've got other shenanigans going on in some other facet of their portfolio or whatever here. So, and that's. I'm just genuinely curious, though. Do you have a job because of ignorance, or just like, is it people just don't know, or is it like, what's the percentage of people doing something nefarious versus people that just are clueless? Is it like 90 clueless to 10, or I mean, just your opinion, like with your experience?
I've rarely seen somebody who's nefarious.
Okay.
Very, very rarely. It does occur, but it's just a rare instance.
Gotcha. It's just usually gross negligence or just a complete lack of not knowing what they were doing.
Yeah, so we had a bankruptcy client one time, and most people, they never learn how money works. Their parents never talk to them about money. And we all learn the hard way, and then some people a little bit harder than others. And so most of the time, it's just by accident. But we had one couple, and we said, okay, we need your bank statements. And so my paralegal was looking at the bank statements and looking at their pay stubs. And they get paid every 2 weeks, right? So you'd think there'd be 4 deposits. No, there's 8 deposits every month. Anywhere between 6 and 10 deposits.
Okay.
And so it's like, where's this money coming from?
Right. How many jobs you got we don't know about here?
Yeah, and we never got a straight answer where that money was coming from. And so,
of course, most people think drug dealer or something. How'd you obtain this money? Something illegally? Or,
were they selling dope?
Yeah.
Are they stealing it?
Yeah. You like some grand larceny, crime ring?
Yeah. So we ended up firing him as the client. I never got a straight answer.
And they would never give you see that does ring, like, because most of us, of course, we're all humans that watch a lot of movies and TV. We all think it's The Sopranos going on over here or something. It's like, hey, what do you got, a garbage business and you're hiding money? What are we doing here?
Yeah. So but without a straight answer, my ass is on the line.
Sure. Well, that's just it. As an attorney, you have to make that. You have attorney-client privilege with your clients and things, but if they're not being forthcoming and honest with you, you can't properly do your job. Therefore, if they want you to do nefarious stuff to defend them, then you're like, no. That's, because at the end of the day, your reputation, your bar, your licensure is on the line here. And if you are doing their bidding and it's illegal, you're the expert in the room. You're supposed to know better versus them, and that's the difference.
Yeah, I have a duty to make and do inquiry. I mean, I have a job. That's part of my duty is do inquiry.
Sure.
And when I started doing it, it was just all suspicious, and it's like, hey, I'm not risking my license for you.
Sure.
I'm out of there.
We're running out of time, and I'm getting down another rabbit hole. But I am kind of curious. Just in your profession, is that something like are most attorneys? I'm not trying to, are most good guys and most but in essence, I mean, are 99.99% of attorneys just like you, or is there a bigger percentage of these, movie type attorneys, the ambulance chaser types and things, or is most of this people are, no, it's just a very slim, it's a loud, small percentage that are the quote unquote, shady attorneys.
Attorneys are human, just like anybody else.
Sure.
And you're formed before you go to law school.
Sure.
So there's a percentage of attorneys who are, rat finks, just like there's any other profession.
Okay. I just TV makes it seem like television and all that makes it feel like there's more of that than maybe there actually is in the world. But then I could be wrong. I have no idea. Well, I mean, you can't turn on TV without seeing 50 lawyer ads on TV and breaks. And you're like, how many of those are legit lawyers versus just a guy trying to, who got a degree at, off online or something? And what I mean?
Well, but again, there's lawyers who made straight A's, and there's lawyers who made, barely passed.
Sure.
So
I know it's a pretty broad stroke I'm painting here, but I'm just curious, is it more rampant than I think, or is it pretty?
So we're in law school, and I forget what class we were in, and I don't even remember what class. But the scenario is you're a jet fighter pilot, okay? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you just flame out and the engine goes and you're hurtling towards Earth at the speed of sound. And one option is you're going to crash in a schoolyard. Mm-hmm. And do you eject or do you try to glide the plane out away from the schoolyard? And I was the only person that said, stay in the plane.
Interesting. Everyone else said, no, you punch out.
Everybody punched out and school kids got blown up. Yeah. So what does that mean? I don't know. That's the Boy Scout in us all. I don't know.
This is true. Be prepared and, and helping others and all of that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's humanity. Like anything else, you're going to have good doctors and bad doctors, good bankers, bad bankers, and good lawyers and bad lawyers. It is what it is. I just didn't but in the world we live in television, lawyers and stuff, they're pretty popular to make TV shows out of and things. And so, and of course, those aren't interesting shows unless there's shady people in it. And so,
it's theater.
It's
theater.
And I'm like, is the real world like where there is a good hunk of these lawyers that are shady like that? Or is that something, some kind of fantasy we've created from television and stuff?
Well, so there was this long ethical narrative of it's a criminal case, and the attorney for the criminal is defending the criminal, and this is preliminary stages, and the judge calls up the attorney. He says, "Okay, winners, come on, I don't want to waste a lot of time here. Did your guy do it?"
Yeah.
Okay, so now the attorney has this ethical dilemma.
Sure.
He's got to have required to have candor before the court. Mm-hmm. And so bottom line was it's unethical for the judge to ask that question. Therefore, it's okay for Mike to lie to him.
Okay. Interesting. So if you get an unethical question, you don't have to answer it truthfully and be just as in the clear. Yeah. Interesting.
So the interesting ethical dilemma, but that's the case where the attorney flat out lied to the judge.
So I guess it's basically the law's version of saying if they're going to try to be shady on you, you have the right to be shady right back.
Sometimes.
Interesting. Well, do we have a little time for some information? In fact, I just
fiction and fact.
Fiction and fact. I just saw we're 7:52 here, so we probably need to.
Oh my goodness!
to get to that point here.
Okay, so I like to hunt wild turkeys, and the tom turkeys have
actual turkeys, not the liquor that's sold on the shelf, not that wild turkey.
Well, that too.
But you have to hunt very hard for that one.
But the ones with feathers.
Yes.
So the toms have all these gorgeous feathers, and the color shifts depending on the light.
Okay.
And that's, of course, called iridescence.
All right.
So
I didn't do well in science either, but I understand the concept.
So in the moon, we have a new moon and a full moon, and in between, it's the crescent. Mm-hmm. So the SC in crescent and the SC in iridescence means movement.
Okay.
Some kind of movement's going on.
Okay.
Like ascend, descend, there's movement going on. And so I was really interested, well, what about the word discern?
Okay.
Because it's got the SC.
Yeah, so with the movement there.
The movement is you're splitting out, parceling out pieces.
Okay.
You're dividing this from that to discern what you need to know.
Okay.
That's the movement.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. So just a tip there, when you see that combination of letters there, and obviously the Latin-based word, then odds are it's got a movement reference somewhere in it. And interesting.
Concupiscence.
Yeah.
Would be another idea of movement.
Okay.
With lusting is what that means.
Interesting.
Cupid.
Yeah.
Concupiscence.
Yeah.
Lusting.
Interesting.
Movement. Yeah.
Huh. I did not know that.
Fiction and fact.
There it is. If you just want more factoids or need actual legal help, Bristol Law Office, that's what they do. Log on to his website, bristollawoffice.com. You can go there and set up an appointment or get everything you need to have a consultation and determine whether Matt needs to do more with you, or it's a simple, hey, go to the courthouse, file this paperwork, and you're good to go.
Or sometimes it's, hey, what you got is good, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Anyway, if you need trusted eyes of someone looking over what you got, Matt can handle all of that stuff. And go to bristollawoffice.com and set up that appointment.
Better call 65-5284.
Very good.
All right, Mike, thank you so much.
Thank you as well. We'll let you get to, I'm sure, the mountain of things sitting on your desk right now. Hopefully nothing too crazy there. So
hopefully not. And thank you again.
Anytime. All right, it is 7:54. Let's go ahead and take a quick update for news and quick commercial break. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Sorello. The New Mexico Department of Transportation is starting bridge repairs on the westbound lanes of the Green Street Bridge, US 62 180 in Carlsbad. The work will begin October 1st. Construction will consist of bearing and pier cap replacement, concrete, and joint repairs. The about $1 million project, with an estimated completion of 6 months, is weather permitting. Traffic control will remain in place for the duration of the repairs, with the westbound lanes remaining closed. Commercial motor vehicles are not allowed on this portion of the bridge and are being detoured to New Mexico 200. The city of Roswell now also putting out a notice to property owners about weed control. Carlsbad did similar last week, and now Roswell says city workers have been mowing on city-owned properties. Citizens are strongly urged to do the same to control weeds on their properties in order to help prevent fires from getting out of control. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Last week, a text alert saved the California power grid. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by CarShield. Protect your car from expensive repairs. Visit carshield.com/Kim and save 10%. Deductible may apply. California has had the hottest weather in memory, with temperatures hitting almost 100 degrees in LA. The California power grid was carrying its highest load ever, more than 52,000 megawatts. Catastrophic failure that would have taken days to repair, causing accidents, probable rioting and chaos, injuries, and even deaths were just minutes away. At 5:45 on a Tuesday afternoon, tens of millions of California's cell phones simultaneously received an emergency text alert, complete with the emergency tones asking everyone to immediately reduce power consumption. Within the next 7 minutes, power consumption fell dramatically. Large-scale blackouts and long-term economic disruptions were narrowly averted by just a single text. That's powerful tech. Get more tech news at Commando.com. A few decades ago, private citizens used to be largely private. What's changed? The internet. Now everything you've browsed, searched for, watched, or tweeted can be crawled through, collected, and aggregated by third parties into a permanent public record, your record. That's why I turn to ExpressVPN to keep my data private every time I go online. There are hundreds of data brokers out there whose sole business is to buy and sell your data. The worst part is they don't have to tell you who they're selling it to or get your consent. But ExpressVPN reroutes your connection through an encrypted server and masks your IP address, making it more difficult for third parties to identify you and harvest your data. So do what I did and secure yourself with the #1 rated VPN on the market. Visit expressvpn.com/Kim and get 3 extra months for free. That's expressvpn.com/Kim. expressvpn.com/Kim.
Sometimes when you hit the road hits back. That's why MTA Mechanics and Tire carries major brands like Bridgestone, Cooper, and Michelin. Not only do you get top brand tires, but you also get a nationwide warranty. So wherever you are, MTA Mechanics and Tire has you covered. Stop by or let MTA come to you with their MTA Mobile Tire Shop, covering Roswell, Carlsbad, and Artesia. They can come to your home, office, or even the airport, and alignment is included on all sets of 4 tires. MTA Mechanics and Tires, getting you back on the road.
You are invited to a Senior Olympics health promotion event on Tuesday, September 20th to help celebrate the National Falls Prevention Awareness Week at the Roswell Recreation and Aquatic Center from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The event is free for seniors 50 plus and will include topics to help with balance, flexibility, and strength training. Health screenings will include free flu shots, free sack lunch to the first 40 people. The day will also include health education mini workshops on foot and orthopedic care, fun sports demonstrations of pickleball, badminton, cornhole, and dance lessons. No pre-registration required. For more information, call 575-623-5777.
At LeGrand Funeral Chapel, we believe that every funeral should be a reflection of the life it honors. The joys, the triumphs, the faith, the family, and so much more. For us, no detail is too small, no request too big. This is Rosa Aguilar. When the time comes to choose a funeral home, we hope you'll let us serve your family. At LeGrand Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
And good morning. Closing in on 8 o'clock Town Hall News up next. We'll be back on the other side. Don't forget, next hour, we'll play our interview we had with Crystal Noble from the Humane Society. She joined us last Thursday. That's up next hour. News next. Don't go away.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. And just now, the eyes of the world are on Scotland, where King Charles is participating in a solemn procession conveying Queen Elizabeth's coffin to a cathedral in Edinburgh, Scotland, where members of the public will be able to pay their respects to the late monarch. Earlier in London.
As I stand before you today, I cannot help but feel the weight of history which surrounds us.
The King spoke to members of Parliament at London's historic Westminster Hall as tributes to his late mother, the Queen, continue, echoing across that hall that has stood for more than 900 years.
We remember her commitment, her kindness, her humour, her courage, and her fortitude, as well as the deep faith which was the anchor in her life.
And President Biden will be attending next week's state funeral.
The White House announced that the president formally accepted an invitation to attend the funeral, which will be held at London's Westminster Abbey next Monday. Mr. Biden will be accompanied by the First Lady. Last week, the president remembered Queen Elizabeth II as a stateswoman of unmatched dignity.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston. The experts say a shutdown of Europe's biggest nuclear power station cuts the risk of catastrophe.
The forced shutdown of Ukraine's endangered Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, Europe's largest, significantly reduces the risk of a radiation disaster that's concerned officials for weeks.
Correspondent Charles De Ledesma. Watching Wall Street, the Dow up 287 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Pakistan grappling with food shortages after deadly floods left the impoverished country's agriculture belt underwater. The Prime Minister told the Turkish president by phone that authorities scaled up efforts to deliver food, tents, and other items. Sabah Sharif spoke to Turkish President Erdogan overnight, thanking Turkey for dispatching food, tents, and medicine by 12 military aircraft, 4 trains, and Turkish Red Crescent vehicles. The acting UN human rights chief is urging European Union member states to avoid backtracking on efforts to develop renewables and energy efficiency projects at a time when soaring energy prices have prompted some to ramp up the use of and the search for fossil fuels. The acting UN High Commissioner for Human Rights laid out rights concerns about more than 30 countries, regions, and territories, including Ethiopia, Ukraine, and Myanmar. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. More court action stemming from things that were said about a horrific crime a decade ago.
Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones set to go on trial a second time for calling the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting a hoax and causing several victims' relatives emotional and psychological harm. The trial starts Tuesday in Waterbury, Connecticut, just 18 miles from the site of the 2012 massacre in Newtown that killed 20 children and 6 educators. A jury is to decide how much Jones should pay the family since he's already been found liable for damages. Last month, a Texas jury in a similar case ordered Jones to pay nearly $50 million to the parents of one of the children killed in the shooting. Rhonda Rockster reporting.
65% of small businesses say they've had to raise prices to offset higher costs, according to a Goldman Sachs survey. 38% reported decline in customer demand due to price increases. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2. Tanner's en route. I guess Sean is not available. Hold on. Turn on that mic.
The dude.
Thank you. Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday, everybody. I know. It's not the fun one. It's not as exciting to say Happy Monday as it is say Friday. We don't have McDonald's food to celebrate with or anything like that. But happy Monday. Hope you're having a delightful day so far. Hope you had a good weekend, whether it was with family or out doing things or any of the many, many activities that was happening out over the weekend, whether you're out at Richland for barbecuing or the Wool Bowl for the car show or out at the mall for the 9/11 tribute they had on Saturday out there. The mayor, police chief all were speaking. That was on Saturday. I know I'm missing a bunch. There's a whole farmers market and just the normal other 20 things that were going on this weekend. Just a busy weekend, so a lot to be had. I kind of did some of the stuff. A lot of it just kind of still worked with my wife. She's doing well, by the way. Update. She will get a CT scan done tomorrow, and then Friday I'm not going to be on the air. Sean will be taking over for that day. We'll be going back to El Paso. She's got a few doctor's appointments on Friday, and we'll have a lot more information after those appointments on when she can start coming back to work and start living life kind of back to normal again. She's feeling a lot better. She's if one would speak with her or talk with her or interact with her, you would not think there's anything wrong with her. She'd be just fine. Now she's at the part where she's got to build back her endurance up. She takes her walks every day. She's, doing stuff around the house. She cooked dinner last night. She's, doing chores. She's doing laundry and helping and doing those kind of things again. So she's kind of, small paces where she can do it. And that's actually her rehab, because people are like, aren't you? I was like, yeah, I do some, but she needs to do some of this stuff to get back into the routine. So I kind of, I take advantage of it. Like, yeah, go ahead. I'm going to sit here and on my keister. Not that she doesn't do it all the time anyway, but I help out when I can, or when I, I think it's, my wife is a control freak like me. And, sometimes it's just like, oh, let me do it. Like, what's funny is in our house, I'll fold the towels to hang them on the rack, like in the bathroom or whatever, but I will not fold the towels in our house to put them in the pantry, or not the pantry, the linen closet, because she likes them folded a certain way and I don't fold them right. And if I fold them, she's just going to refold them anyway. So I don't fold them. Cut out the middle, man. So,
it's a smart man.
Yeah, I was born at night, but not last night. I know how to work the angles. There's something I was going to tell you, and I forget what it was. Oh, I know what it was. So, over the weekend, I had learned that season 5 of Cobra Kai has shown up on Netflix.
I haven't actually watched 4 yet. I haven't finished it.
Okay, you got to finish 4. My wife and I watched the first 4 episodes of season 5. I think there's 10 altogether. All I can say is, each season they keep crowbarring more people into this show,
right,
that were from the movies, and they did it again in season 4.
Really?
Or 5.
I just feel like we've gotten all the good ones out of the way already.
I thought so too, until another one showed up in season 5.
All right.
It's so funny to me. It's almost like, now I want to go back and watch the movies and see, like, is Hilary Swank coming next? What are we doing here? Right. I'm waiting for that redhead to come in. That was in 3. His love interest.
Right? Yeah.
I don't remember her name.
I can't offhand either. But
she was a redhead.
I know the one you're talking about. Yeah. That'd be interesting. I don't know. I definitely need to go back and rewatch the movies. I feel like, because they're really leaning on the fact that a lot of people remember a 30-some-odd-year-old franchise as well as they think we do.
Yeah.
Because they're also writing the show and appealing to a younger audience. Like, they're trying to appeal to kids, and
well, they're balancing both of those. They're juggling both those balls. They're trying to bring in the new audience and make it, but at the same time, people that grew up watching the movies and are fans of the movies, they're trying to lip service to that too.
Here's the thing that I also noticed about that show, and I think I've mentioned this to you, and I've definitely talked to my other friend about it. I love the show, but I also kind of hate the show.
Right.
Because
it's ridiculous.
Well, it's ridiculous, but I know what I kind of know what they're trying to do with the whole with each character, but there are no distinct good guys or bad guys.
That's the problem with this whole series.
It's like the duality of man, or whatever you want to call it.
It's like one microaggression after microaggression turning into an all-out just battle royale.
Right.
And you're like, there is no way, if this was real life, any of this would really happen without some kind of government authority getting involved.
You mean school-wide battle royale? No, I'm pretty sure that would not fly.
Not to mention just people getting knocked out in random without any kind of criminal police officer checking on them later. They're literally assaulting each other, and not one cop comes back later to investigate or nothing. Like, what is going on in this town?
Right. You're going to tell me that, and I'm just going off of the last big event, which was the school-wide battle royale at the end of season 3. You're going to tell me that something like that's going to happen. Not only are not all the dojos in town not going to get closed down, but karate's not instantly banned. I've seen the movie Footloose. It took less than that to ban dance from an entire town.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
There's so many unreal flaws in the story.
Right.
But part of me doesn't care. Part of me is like, and that's the part that I like you said, I get what you're saying about love-hate. Because I do. I love the nostalgia. I love the characters.
I want to root for Miguel, but as soon as I start to, he turns into a just total jerk.
Well, he gets it's better now.
Well,
season 5, you learn. You learn more about him in season 5.
All right.
But the one thing that's bugging me,
kids are also getting into their late 20s now at this point.
Or wait till you get to season 5.
Oh,
season 4, they look a certain way.
They're just men.
To be honest, I'm going to say Miguel looks better in season 5 than 4. I think 4, he's going through that awkward teenage growth spurt. And so he's kind of gangly.
He didn't have karate body?
Yeah. And he's starting to fill into more of an...
Okay.
It's starting to come into I'm trying to say this without sounding weird or creepy.
I was going to say, you're walking a thin tightrope here, buddy.
But he looks like he's more normal in 5. He looks like his body is coming into his man body.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
This is a 49-year-old man studying really closely.
I feel like...
But he doesn't look as awkward as he does in 4,
Well, I feel
to
like
me.
There's a period of time where you have to kind of pack on the pounds when you're trying to get muscle. So you have to kind of get some weight on you before the muscle starts. So I think that was maybe that transition of he knew that he was going to have to pack on some pounds. So he was eating more, gaining more weight in order to transition that into muscle.
Maybe. Or he's just a kid who doesn't know any of that.
Fair enough. But you look at any of the world's strongest men, like all the extreme, like the dudes that throw the barrels or whatever for a living. Those dudes are not built. They're just thick.
Right.
It's because their body is a muscle.
Yes.
They're just one gigantic muscle. It's also why they eat 17,000 calories a day.
Yes. They got to fuel the muscles.
6 whole chickens, turns out.
And a loaf of toast. But my big issue with season 5, I can't talk with you yet.
Right.
I don't think so, because my big issue is with it's a character, and not so much the character, but the way they're portraying the character. The movie, you have a certain image of this character, and now that he's in the TV show, there's elements of it, but also elements that take away from that, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
But I can't really discuss it because this person isn't really relevant into the story until season 4, towards the end of season 4.
Okay.
So
I'll start on. I'll get through 4 tonight, hopefully, or today, hopefully.
Like my brother, I was talking to my brother on the phone yesterday, and he's in season 3 of Cobra Kai,
right?
And so he's still talking about Elizabeth Shue and all that. I was like, she's in it for 2 episodes, and then it goes on. I said, trust me, this show at this point, think of every character that had any kind of role in this movie, in the movies, and all 3 movies, and they try to crowbar those characters back into the show.
I would love if Hilary Swank showed up. To me, here's the thing. I like the Karate Kid movies. I loved the next Karate Kid. I loved that movie growing up.
I could barely remember anything from it.
I've seen it. That's the one I probably remember the best because I've seen it so many times.
See, that one I barely remember.
That whole thing with the hawk on the rooftop, and she was raising this hawk, and then the main rival, the guy was he let the hawk go.
Yeah, I barely remember that.
Yeah, I was really into that movie.
And I've never seen the Jalen.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah.
I could care less about
one with
that
Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah, that's outside the Pat Morita universe, so that's not my Miyagi.
Although, if they're going to replace Miyagi with anybody on the planet, the one that might get me okay with it is Jackie Chan.
Well, you just don't.
I've never seen it.
You don't replace Mr. Miyagi.
I do love Jackie Chan.
I like me some Jackie Chan too, but let Jackie Chan be Jackie Chan. You do not replace Mr. Miyagi.
I like Rumble in the Bronx.
Okay. I do, but I also feel like he doesn't have the ability, Jackie Chan I'm talking about, to embody the peacefulness of a Miyagi.
I know what you're saying. You're saying
he's
Jackie
too wound up.
Jackie Chan's karate is not Miyagi Dojo karate.
Right. He's too Obi-Wan to be Yoda.
Actually, I'd say he's more reckless than a Miyagi-Do.
Sure.
Karate.
Yeah, I would agree. He's the kind of guy who's going to throw himself out there and just see what happens.
Yeah.
Miyagi, he's more calculated.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for. Calculated. He's not calculating enough to be like a Miyagi. Maybe as he gets older.
Maybe older, wiser. Of course, Jackie Chan's not
up there now.
Young anymore. No. He's probably in his 60s, I'm thinking, at least.
True, but he still moves around like he's young. So.
He's in 1,000% better shape than probably any 60-year-old man on the planet. But I don't know. I'm guessing he could have let himself go. I haven't seen him in a movie in a while. So.
It's been a minute, but I'm sure he doesn't hop around as much. But I know he's quick still. I've seen him in some stuff for the last 5 years or so. He's quick reflexed.
All I need to say is Steven Seagal does karate too.
Fair enough. Because it's not that active of a sport.
Although I enjoy some Steven Seagal movies, don't get me wrong. His early works, I'm very big fan of. But you will never, ever, 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 ever convince me that he looks like a karate master. And and even when Marked for Death and in the heyday of Steven Seagal movies,
right?
Those movies, now I'm talking even pre-Under Siege, like Marked for Death and those kind of more underground. I'm gonna say even underground's the right, lesser popular, like the ones that he started earning his chops on. Those
the prepositional phrase movies, like the Marked for Death, Time to Die.
Yeah, all those. Those even when I watch those and he's whipping everybody's tail, I'm like, he does not look like a karate dude. He looks like a fat dude with a ponytail at a bar.
He looks like what he kind of looks. He looks like Roadhouse. He looks like like the guy who kind of stands bouncer.
And then his later works,
he looks like he's good with like a throat punch.
Yeah, and in his later works, like I love Under Siege. It's one of my favorite Steven Seagal movies of all time. It's just the star cast, the whole entertainment value of that movie. I love it. But if you're trying to get me to buy that he's a Navy chef that's a karate master, or just like his characters are too like really, it's like for a guy that literally works as a janitor in a thing, why are you so amazing at everything else, but your day job is a janitor?
He looks like maybe he came up in like a dojo that was next to a Subway.
Yeah.
Like he did his workouts. He got his katas in, but afterwards he went ahead and got himself a few.
He went to a DOUGH
dojo. Like he's been doing karate his whole life, but also karate with the craft services table about 20 feet away.
Pillsbury karate.
Real flaky.
But anyway, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We're going to get you up to date with the weather here in just a minute. Then Crystal Noble with the Humane Society here in Roswell joined us on Thursday to give us an update. They're dealing with some COVID there and stuff, so we're going to play that update for you in just a few. Then later on, we'll get you up to date with the news of the local variety, along with that and your Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. I'm going to eat some Twinkies. We're going to get you up to date on the weather.
Sweet.
In honor of Steven Seagal. Twinkies. Because I'm sure he eats them.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty nice today. We'll stay at around the 90-degree mark on the afternoon high, and we have high pressure overhead, so we get sunshine. Overnight, a few clouds and our low in the mid-60s, and then it looks like a mix of sunshine and clouds coming up on Tuesday. We'll stay in the upper 80s across most of the area, and we could pick up a late-day shower or thunderstorms, scattered thunderstorms on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 64 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 78%. Winds calm at the moment. Sunny. Highs near 90 expected today with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Looking at an overnight low of 65 degrees. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. They're saying there's a chance at some rain for you Tuesday. A 30% chance for afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Mostly sunny, high of 88 tomorrow with southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. They're saying a 20% chance of rain for tomorrow night, mainly before midnight, mostly cloudy otherwise with an overnight low of 62 and south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, 40% chance at afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Partly cloudy otherwise, high of 85 on Wednesday with south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. 20% chance of rain Wednesday night. Partly cloudy, overnight low of 63. And then for the rest of the week, Thursday, sunny and 88. Friday, sunny and 90. And then looking at the weekend, sunny and 91 Saturday, sunny and 92 on Sunday. All right, it is 23 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take a quick commercial break and then play our interview with Crystal Noble from the Humane Society. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
If your car breaks down, no need to cry, because there's always a pal nearby at Big O. At Big O Tires. Locally owned will get you in gear. That's because you've known us for years at Big O. Big O Tires. Don't need to sweat any extra labor. You can always trust a good neighbor at Big O. At Big O Tires. The best service is part of our code. Need a cup of sugar? We're down the road at Big O. At Big O Tires.
Now through September 18th, buy 3, get 1 free on select sets of in-stock Nexen or Aspen GTAS tires with installation purchase. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation required, not valid with other offers. Eligibility may vary. Disposal fees extra and up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price, not to exceed $35 where permitted.
The numbers don't lie. Crime is up in southeastern New Mexico. In 2021, Roswell had almost 40 crimes per 1,000, including larceny, assault battery, burglary, motor vehicle theft, robbery, and homicide. These days, the best defense you can get is having a locally owned company install the best security system available. That's Zena Security Services. They offer real security solutions for your home and business. When it comes to your safety, you need a locally owned, locally minded security company at your defense. Call Zena Security Services today, 575-626-3521, 575-626-3521.
The Yucca Blossom Summer's End Extravaganza is fun for the whole family. They have 90-plus booths to shop, a variety of food trucks to fill your belly, and an array of amusing activities for the kiddos, including face painting, bouncy houses, rock climbing, quad power jump, and live music from the County Line Band. Mark your calendars for Saturday, September 17th from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. and Sunday, September 18th from 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. at the Eddy County Fairgrounds in Artesia.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Due to extreme pressure and weather conditions, it literally rains diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Stop snickering because I said Uranus. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us in the studio this morning from the Roswell Humane Society, Crystal Noble back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Nice. Enjoying this nice morning.
It's nice and not too hot, not too Goldilocks.
No, but you feel the humidity, though.
Yeah, well, anytime we get any kind of rain chance, it
we get one drop of rain and we get 100% humidity with no rain.
And 30,000 mosquitoes.
Yes. Mosquitoes are horrible. And we typically are not a hot spot for heartworm, but
this is a good time.
This is a good time of the year to make sure that your animals are on the heart guard. If they haven't been heartworm tested, get them heartworm tested to get them on the heart guard.
Before you can feed them the heart guard,
yes,
you have to get because if they have heartworm and you give them the heart guard, it's going to kill them. There is another treatment for the dog if the dog already has heartworm.
Mm-hmm.
So you
and
do have to
depending on
tests.
the stage, depends on what the treatment is.
Okay. So please just don't, because I don't even know if you can buy heart guard without a vet's.
No, you have to have a prescription for it because you have to have a valid negative test.
Gotcha.
But we are not typically a hotspot. We've had a lot more moisture recently than we typically do, which has enhanced the mosquitoes times 1,000.
I always gave it to our dog, even though it wasn't a hot spot, but it was because it's really easy to give it.
It covers other things other than heartworm. It helps with fleas and ticks and deworming.
Mm-hmm. And it's the easiest medicine to give an animal.
I'm telling you, my dogs are like,
Yeah, I the biggest problem I had with it was only giving her one. She wanted more than one. I'm like, no, not for another month, dude.
One a month.
Yeah. But yeah, that one's very easy. But
so a simple trick for that is, find their other favorite treat, give them one of their favorite treats, give them the heart guard, and then give them another favorite treat right after. So therefore, they've received multiple treats, but only one heart guard.
In their head, they feel like they got their prize.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just out of curiosity, is there, with a dog that is suffering from heartworm, is there any signs or is it unnoticeable?
So the beginning signs typically are like lack of energy.
Okay.
But also sometimes there are no beginning signs.
Okay. That's why it's important to get this test.
It is very important. And a lot of the times, sometimes heartworm mimics congestive heart failure.
Okay.
Because the heartworms are basically
attacking the heart.
They're in the heart, attacking the heart. So they are essentially congestive heart failure, just not the typical type that we deal with, like with Lasix and other treatments for that. But in reality, watching your pet's energy level, listening to their breathing, watching how they breathe, sometimes they'll start to develop like a deeper chest. Like dachshunds, how they have a deep barrel chest, like they'll get like a fat pouch.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Because the heart is swelling.
Oh, wow. So, okay. That makes sense. But so please don't, like if your friend gives you some and I got some left, don't give it to your dog. Wait,
don't. Unless you have a test. Because one of the preventatives that helps keep heartworms dead can kill your dog if your dog has heartworms.
Gotcha.
So basically the treatment for heartworm is ivermectin.
Okay.
And I believe doxycycline.
Okay.
But those are IV injectables.
Gotcha.
So you can't just go buy them over the counter and give it to your animal.
Right.
They have to be administered a certain time.
Sure.
And depending on the stage of heartworms, because they have different stages. If it's in the final stage, it's not treatable.
Gotcha.
So if it's in the first 2 stages, you are. The third, iffy.
It's iffy. Okay.
And the fourth is no treatment.
So if you start seeing signs, get them to the vet. The earlier, the better.
Think of heartworm as cancer.
Gotcha.
You have stage 1 and stage 4.
Gotcha.
So you want to catch this before it's in stage 1.
Got it. Okay. Got it. So just keep that stuff in mind. And the easy thing is just make an appointment with your vet, have them screen for a heartworm.
It's not expensive. Yeah. $40-$50 a test, minus taxes or whatever, you test them once. And then once you start them on the heart guard, you don't have to retest them again.
Yeah, as long as you keep them steady on the heart guard.
Yes, they have to stay on the heart guard. You can't have any lapses.
Right.
And it's
one a month. One cookie, basically a month.
Mm-hmm, and you buy it in a 6-pack.
Yeah.
A doggy 6-pack.
That's right.
You buy it in a 6-pack, so you buy it for 6 months at a time. And then you have that coverage for that time. It's one of the easiest things to do, one of the cheapest things to do to help prolong your animal's life.
Yeah, absolutely. And so please, like you said at the beginning here, we're not in a high area for that to be a constant problem, but with the humidity, with the things, it's increased than when it normally is.
So if you live east, on the east side of town, anywhere near the Pecos, where the Pecos overflowed from the flooding, mosquitoes are amplified. I live out there. Mosquitoes are amplified. Like I have to spray myself inside my house before going outside because the second I open my door, it's boom.
Man.
So they make mosquito spray for dogs and cats. They sell it at Petco. It's lemongrass, catnip, and can't remember the third ingredient in it, but it's an all natural spray.
Okay.
It's very strong odored.
All right.
I sprayed it on myself, and my husband said, "What did you spray?" And I was like,
"It's my new cologne."
I was like, "Well, I'm trying the dog's flea and tick or mosquito spray before I put it on them." And he's like, "Yeah." So it keeps your husband away if you don't want him around.
If you need less friends, try some for yourself.
But as you see me itching mosquito bite, it seemed to help for them.
Good.
But if you're on the east side of town, close to the river, I feel your pain. The mosquitoes are horrible over there. And even our horse was just covered in mosquitoes. And the spray that we put on him for the flies covers mosquitoes too.
Okay.
But because of how much rain we got and then the water, you have to reapply it more often than you normally would because the humidity makes you sweat, so you sweat
it off, and then you got to reapply.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. But but Petco has it if you're looking for some. For
and it's an all natural mosquito spray for dogs.
Gotcha. probably do that instead of off or whatever you put on people.
Yeah, you can't put DEET on dogs.
Yeah.
That's very toxic to them.
Okay.
So you want to get the all-natural stuff that's specific for dogs, and that way you're making sure that you're not harming them while you're trying to protect them.
Yeah, absolutely. Good deal. But like I said, swing by, get some, and just be mindful of this stuff, even though this is a little different than we're normally used to as far as humidity and things. Normally, these aren't things we concern ourselves too much with, but because of the rains, this is one of those things to protect your dogs. Just one more layer of protection there for you. So good deal.
It is, and it doesn't hurt to be overcautious.
Absolutely. And like I said, the heartworm thing is literally the easiest medicine you've ever given anything ever. It's literally like just feeding your dog treats. That's all it is.
I give my dogs Brevecto for the flea and ticks, and they hear the foil for the wrapper, and they're like, oh. Oh.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny because, like, I can open anything else, and they're typically like, but they know that foil. They know that sound. So I started opening it in the car.
Oh, to get a preemptive.
Yeah, because if I do it in the house, Titus is like monster. So he's like, hi, Mom.
Right.
Mine.
Like, oh, that's for me, isn't it? I'll take that.
Yeah. And so when you've got the big dog here and then Toby, which is not the big dog anymore,
right.
The big dog tries to take both treats. And I'm like, no.
No, can't do that. One per. But yeah, so please get that done. Let's talk what's available at the shelter right now.
So,
how are pets looking?
We are full.
Okay.
But currently, we are closed because we have 2 employees out with COVID.
Okay.
So, I have a skeleton crew.
Okay. So the
we were hoping to reopen today, but she tested positive again.
Oh, man, too bad.
I have to wait for her to test negative, so that way I at least have one person back.
So hopefully the next day or two.
Hopefully by Wednesday we should be back open because she has to retest in 5 days.
Okay, so we'll be a couple more days here. What about the thrift store?
The thrift store's open.
Okay.
Everybody's good over there.
Good. Okay.
They have a ton of stuff. And actually they have a ton of fishing stuff.
Oh,
so
nice.
if you are a fisher, they've got jigs, they've got poles, they've got lures, they've got floating bobbers.
Oh, okay.
I bought $250 worth of it yesterday.
Nice.
And there's still a crap ton more.
Good.
There's fly fishing stuff. There's catfish and stuff. There's bass. There's trout.
All right. So you got a little. So this Saturday is the Dragonfly Festival, and of course the BLM will have their kids fishing pool and everything out there. Maybe if you want to teach your child fishing, go head over to the thrift store, pick up some fishing gear, and then take it with you out to the Dragonfly Festival on Saturday and break it in. Give it a try.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's funny because the person who donated it is very organized. And like when I saw this stuff, I was like, oh man, we
very
could be
meticulous,
friends.
huh? Yeah.
Because they had like styrofoam, like, that you put like for the fake flowers to keep them in a pot. They had the jigs perfectly poked in through the styrofoam. And I was like, oh man, ranged in sizes. I was like, wow.
Yeah, there's some OCD
they
going
share
on
my
there.
OCD. And my husband started laughing. I was like, look. And he's like, no. I was like, oh, okay.
We smell our kind. We know.
And I was like, to make it even more funny, I had just ordered a new check ledger for a checking account. Well, the little ones that normally come with the checks, when I ordered checks, they didn't come with it.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, whatever. So I just ordered one on Amazon. Well, I ordered a spiral one. And I told my husband, I was like, look what came in the mail today. I was like, how do you know you're a dork and an adult? You get happy over a check ledger. And he's like, okay.
But it seems so important.
I was like, organization.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid and especially when I was like 16, I started working at fast food place, the stuff teenagers work at. And I remember when they get out their checkbooks, and it was always that ledger one, the big notebook with the spiral. And
yep.
And I remember it's like, you got to be important to have one of those. You know what I mean? It just looks more important. Like, let me write you a check, and you whip out this big book and all that.
Yeah.
And I always remembered when I was a kid, I was like, I'm going to do that someday. I never have, because checks went the way of the dodo. But yeah, I never did do it.
I still write checks.
I write 2 checks a year, depending on like my American Legion dues, I write a check for every year. If I ever get a speeding ticket, you have to write a check when you go up to the courthouse.
So is that your one speeding ticket a year?
Yeah, I get one a year. That's whether I need it or not. No. Of course, I haven't got one in a few years, but that's the last time. Right now, I just jinxed myself.
Yeah.
If you see me out and about today, officers, please hook a brother up. Just cut me a break.
Leadfoot Winters. He's trying to speed Winter to us quicker than we need it.
That's right. Yeah. I'm important. I need to go fast.
The weather will not change unless I'm going fast.
That's right.
Do you want to be sweaty? I didn't think so.
Do you realize who you're dealing with?
Oh, man. But yes, so very organized fishing stuff.
Good deal. So probably well maintained and well taken care of.
Very
too, if it's well organized.
And it's funny because some of the bobbers that we bought, he has the original package that he bought it in. So after he used it, he'd put it back in that package, or if they were even used, because the majority of them look brand new.
Brand new.
So there's probably well over $1,000 worth of just lures and jigs and bobbers and
you get it for pennies on the dollar right now.
Yep.
So that's great. And that's probably just scratching the surface. Like if you're looking for small appliances, clothing, any of that kind of stuff.
A ton of blankets,
home
school
decor
stuff. They got a lot of school stuff, a lot of home decor, a lot of wall decorations. Really cool, cute ones from Hobby Lobby that they discontinued, so they sent them over to us.
I imagine they'll be busting out Halloween stuff here pretty quick too.
I believe they already have some of the Halloween stuff out. I don't think they have all of it out, but I do think that they already have some of it out.
Good.
I know that they were talking about getting the costumes out here soon. They were just trying to clear out an area to set the big costume rack up.
Sure.
Lots of clothes. Always having different sales on clothes. Anytime you walk in, there's a whiteboard on the left-hand side of the wall. Any sale of the day is going to be listed on the whiteboard. So if it's backroom half off or if it's clothing half off, it's going to be written on that board.
Perfect. Very good. And I'm telling you, if you love to decorate for the holidays, Halloween, Christmas, if you're not visiting the thrift store first before you go buy it, then you're crazy, because literally people donate this stuff. It's used once or barely used. Costumes, decor, doesn't matter. People just, the plastic pumpkins, all that stuff. You go to the big box store and buy it brand new, you're getting it for a tenth of the price. And it's the same stuff. It literally is nothing wrong with it, and you're getting it for a tenth of the price.
And the majority of the costumes are always $2.
Yeah, and worn once most of the time, or not at all, depending on, I didn't like that costume. I want this costume,
Right, and if you have a picky kid who changes their mind like every 5 minutes, take them to the thrift store, let them pick out a $2 costume. When they change their mind, you take them back, let them pick out another $2 costume.
And return that one and sell it again and pay another $2 for another one. And you're helping the Humane Society every single time doing that. So.
All proceeds go to helping the animals in care. Go to maintaining the building, the thrift store, and, upkeeping needs that need to be done.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if you are looking to adopt a pet, like she said, because of the COVID outbreak there, that there's the actual shelter's closed right now.
We are closed, but you can still look at them on the website.
Yeah, go to the website, roswellhumane.org. You go there and you can see every single animal that's calling the Humane Society home right now.
Yes.
So if you see not available next to that picture, that just means they're in quarantine, either because of they're trying to make weight or they're new to the shelter and they haven't been updated with the
they need more vaccinations.
that stuff, or something along those lines. They will be available for adoption as soon as they meet those goals.
Yes, and then if you call, leave a message. We will return calls. It's just right now we're on a skeleton crew. We are currently hiring again. My last employee's husband got a better job out of Roswell, so
it happens.
Yeah, so I am no longer full staffed. We are short staffed again.
So if someone loves working with animals, loves that stuff, full-time job,
kennel worker.
Yeah.
Come in, bring a resume, cover letter.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we'll be back open on Wednesday. If you come by and we're still closed, there's a mail slot on the door. Slide it through the mail slot. I'll get it, and then hopefully we can get somebody in there pretty quickly.
Yeah, and of course, if you have any questions in the meantime, the Roswell Humane Society does have a Facebook page. You can shoot a message through there, and someone will.
And that goes directly to my phone. So
good deal. So that's a great way to.
If I'm not scrubbing cages, I'm trying to keep up on emails and messages. So
well, and that's a great way. So if you're thinking like tomorrow or maybe next Wednesday, you're like, hey, is it open yet? And you don't want to, go check. You'll see a message there on the Facebook page.
However, gas prices have gone down a little bit, still not enough.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No kidding. But in the meantime, please support the thrift store. Come shop, donate as well. Obviously, if it's bigger ticket, bigger items, things like that, please call before you want to donate to make arrangements for that kind of stuff.
If you need it picked up, schedule a pickup.
Yeah, because there is so much room for storage and things. And
unfortunately, we need a bigger kennels and a bigger thrift store. But the only problem is, the bigger you get, the more you need help with, and then it's a never-ending cycle.
It's a slippery slope. Yep. It's like, we got more space. That means we got more stuff. You need more people to maintain it. Yeah. It's a thing. But thanks to the generosity and support of the community, we are in a great situation there as far as a lot of great stuff to shop for and a lot of great pets that are looking for homes right now.
Yes. If we have any Labradoodle fans out there, we have 3 F1 Labradoodles.
Nice.
2 females, 1 male. They're all from the same litter.
Okay.
We know they're F1 because the actual breeder released them to us.
Okay. So they're, I guess, got their papers or whatever it is, AKC, whatever it is called.
I don't think that they filed their papers.
Okay.
Or we at least didn't get a copy of it.
I gotcha.
But,
okay.
There are Lulu, Winston, and Maybelline are their names.
All right.
Maybelline's just about to get her second set of vaccinations, and then she'll be coming out of quarantine soon, too. But Lulu and Winston are already out of quarantine.
All right, number 3 right around the corner here. So hopefully next week.
Any Labradoodle fans?
Very good.
We got 3.
Good deal. And, of course, how are the cats right now? Are that pretty full, too?
A lot of cats. A lot of younger cats. We're in the 3 to 6 month range of cats. We do have a couple 4-year-olds. 2 are Russian blues. They basically are twins.
Okay.
They're all from the same household. And then we have a black and white. He's 4 years old. And then we have a female tortoiseshell who's 4 years old.
Okay. So mostly younger, but a good mix there if you want something that's more full grown and not as kitten-like.
We only have 4 adults right now. The rest are younger kittens, anywhere from 3 months to 6 months of age.
And that's probably good for the adoption because I'm sure kittens get adopted way more often than a adult cat does.
And then when you have a slew of kittens, you have somebody, I want an adult cat. And I'm like, I just had 18 of them like 2 months ago. Week? Where were you? So it never fails. When you have it, nobody wants it. When you don't have it, everybody wants it.
It's like Chihuahuas. If everyone wants a Chihuahua, there wouldn't be one to be found. But the moment that people stop looking, you've got 30 of them. So it's just the way it is. So, and Chihuahuas are probably that most, as far as fluctuating popularity breed there, because they are always in this area very popular. But they have a rash of them, and then no one wants them, and then you see a bunch of them, and then they start getting adopted, and then people looking for Chihuahuas, and they're none to be had.
We used to say Chihuahuas are a dozen in New Mexico. Mm-hmm. They're not a dime a dozen; they're a dozen.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So, but if you're looking, please go to the Humane Society's website.
Yes.
Peruse the photos there. And then, of course, check back if you're interested in adopting or want more information about one of the pets. And like I said, next week we can hopefully set something up and get that process going. So
and if you're looking for a job, swing by. Like I said, unfortunately we are closed because of COVID. But slip one through the mail slot.
Your daily duties basically is tending to the needs of those pets, cleaning cages, making
feeding them,
changing litter, cleaning up, interacting, playing with the pets, doing all the
brushing.
Yeah.
The unfun part is the poo part, but that's
basically being a mommy or daddy for all the pets there at the shelter.
And a lot of people ask, how do you do it? It's not hard. It's really the majority of your physical labor is carrying a shovel and hauling dog food.
Yeah.
So, a lot of walking, but not a lot of, back-breaking physical labor.
Yeah,
no.
You're just going back and forth tending. Obviously it gets a little loud in there because it's a bunch of animals barking and meowing. But yeah.
When they're So they really are quiet unless it's a stranger.
Okay.
Once they're familiar with you, they don't bark a lot.
It gets
so
pretty cool and calm in there.
When, like, on days we're close to the public naturally and you're in there cleaning, like, when you first get there, they're like, oh, hi. And then they're like, it's you. And then they're like, oh, wait, you're the lady that feeds us.
That's right. It's like, oh, food time. Yeah.
Hi. So, but for the most part, once they're used to you, they don't bark a lot.
Gotcha.
Very calm. You have your crazy dogs, and cats, but that's with everybody. So
absolutely, yeah. You always get the one that's just excited, round up all the time. So
you get the one that just has no calm.
Yeah,
has no chill.
You wonder how you can harness that energy and put it towards good. But we got to figure out some kind of gene or something you can put into people to do that.
So we have a dog who's currently at my boss's house getting a bath because she is a hot mess, and her name is Coco.
Okay.
Well, Coco has some birth defects.
Okay.
Her jaw is hinged to where her mouth only opens literally 1/4 of an inch.
Oh, man.
But she also has her upper jaw never developed a bone, so it's curled under like this.
Oh, wow.
And she has a crooked face.
So she have trouble eating and doing all those things?
She eats on one side of her mouth. She can't eat big bites. She has to have small bites.
Okay.
And obviously somebody bottle fed her and took care of her. But she was found as a stray that we got from animal control. And she's a poodle mix. She's a ball of energy. I mean, a ball of energy. She's like the atom ball, like, when you drag your fingers around on the electric thing. That's her. So I wish my boss.
A happy dog.
She's happy. She loves everything. She loves everybody. She does have brachiocephalic, where that means her palate is not fully pulled forward, so she breathes like a bulldog.
Gotcha. Okay.
But dogs like that heat stroke and overheat a lot quicker than normal, and because of how her jaw is and her sinus cavities, there's nothing blocking it, but she has to have her nose cleaned every day, so she always has like a little bit of boogers on her nose.
Okay. So she needs a little bit more maintenance than other animals.
She's somebody who she needs to go with somebody who's got the time to take care of her needs, but she's also a super fast learner.
Okay.
She knows how to sit, she knows how to shake, she knows how to lay down, and she knows how to roll over.
So she'll fall into a routine probably pretty easily.
Super easy.
But you just got to do more work with her because she needs more care than others.
The pepperoni treats, we break them into tiny pieces for her. And so when we have her out and we're working with her, you tell her sit, she sees that pepperoni, she sits, lays down, high fives, and then rolls over all in one. And I'm like, you don't have to do 4 tricks for 1 treat, sweetheart. Come here.
Yeah. She's like, I'll do it all. What's the routine? I got it.
So, and it's funny because like she goes so fast when she's doing it, like she tries to high five before she lays down. So she's like, hi. But she's super sweet. She has a lot of energy. But I think a lot of that energy will calm down when she has, natural area to run in and exercise on a regular basis. My boss is going to call me telling me she's exhausted today because of her energy, because she has a lot of energy. But she's a very sweet dog. She did great for the grooming. She's a little bit of a handful when you got to clean her face because she doesn't like her nose cleaned. But she's like a toddler. Who's got a runny nose that you're chasing after to clean.
Right.
That's her. She's like, no, these are mine. I'm keeping them.
But I think, once you do it every day and get the routine with her, she'll probably, you know what I mean?
She does. After a while, she's like,
fine, get it over with.
She becomes that teenager with a sigh.
Right. Sounds like a very fun dog, though, to have in the home.
And her looks, like when you look at her, like her mouth is like this. So she's crooked, and then she's like, hi. And like, she's just bouncing.
So it's like she's very cute in her ugly way kind of thing, It's like an ugly dog, but it's so cute at the same time. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. So hopefully we'll find her a home here pretty soon. So.
Yeah, she needs a good home. She needs a home that's going to tend to her special needs and love her for all her flaws.
Cool. And I'm sure she'll bring so much to a family that is willing to embrace and love her. So.
She's a super happy dog. I'm telling you, if you need some, what do they call it in your brain when serotonin release. She's going to release your serotonin. I had to think of what the name was. What's that called?
Very cool. So hopefully come see her next week when everything hopefully opens back up here. So everyone gets healthy again.
Yes.
So again, RoswellHumane.org is the website. You can of course come by the thrift store. Well, here in about 15 minutes.
They'll be opening up.
Yeah, 203 or not? Is it 203? It's East McGaffey.
703.
East McGaffey. That's the word I was meaning. 203. I think that's the furniture store.
I think so too. I was like, no, we're a few more blocks down.
Yeah. East McGaffey. There, the Humane Society is right next door to Animal Control. So if you're looking for pets, walk right next door to Animal Control and see the selection they've got right now.
No, if you are missing a pet, as in like it got picked up, look at Animal Control.
Okay.
Right now we're only taking in owner releases because we have a waiting list still of animals needing to come into the shelter from owners surrendering.
Okay.
So we're very limited on intaking of strays.
Gotcha.
Depending on the size of the dog and if I have a smaller kennel or medium kennel available, we have taken in some recently, just not very many. The majority of everything that's in the shelter is an owner release.
Gotcha. Okay. So change that by adopting a bunch of animals and free up some open space there.
Yeah.
Good deal. Is there anything we missed?
I don't think so.
Good deal. Any I guess there's probably not any events coming up or anything since you guys are pretty short-staffed at
No,
the
we
moment.
were going to be at Tractor Supply this weekend, and then Terry is the one who helps us when we do our events. And I was like,
Yeah. Well, maybe here in a week or so we can get back on that schedule.
Yeah, I'm
again.
hoping that we get back to normal. Everything back in operations of Wednesday of next week.
Yeah.
Fingers
So,
crossed.
Yep.
That she's negative.
Yeah, and I imagine is she showing signs like feeling?
She doesn't feel very well either.
Oh, okay,
so.
okay. I didn't know like if she was feeling good, just negative, But well, get healthy first. That's more important.
Yeah, she's not feeling very well. When I talk to her, she's like, I have like 5 minutes of energy and then I'm down. And I'm like, no, stay home.
Yeah.
Stay home.
That's not going to be very helpful. 5 minutes of work, but
no, 5 minutes of work for a 2-hour recoup.
Yeah. It doesn't quite math don't work out yet. So.
Nope.
Well, as always, appreciate it.
Yes, thank you guys.
We'll see you next time here, and of course, RoswellHumane.org. If you're looking for, check out the pets. If you want to become a member, great way to learn about all the different ways and what, and whom, and what can become a member. So
new memberships are coming up due after October.
Okay.
When we send out the October newsletter, it'll have the new membership forms on it for 2023.
Okay.
If you're not a member and you want a membership form, you can get one online, or you can even call and I'll mail you one, whatever.
Very good. It's a great way to support the Humane Society when, especially if you adopted all your number allotted animals you're going to be adopting. Another great way to keep supporting is becoming a member. So.
Here, let me pack you up a patch of pups, and then
That's right.
Here you go.
Yeah, you don't want that. So, well, thank you, Crystal, as always. We'll see you next time. Well, thank you, Crystal, as always. We'll see you next time. It is closing in on 9:50. Let's go ahead and get you up.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The largest U.S. trucking industry group is asking Congress to help prevent a railroad shutdown if railways and unions can't strike a deal. The plea comes from the American Trucking Association. They want swift action to avoid what could cost the country billions of dollars every day. Contract negotiations between railways, including Union Pacific and CSX, and unions representing 115,000 workers, are at an impasse. President Biden was in Ohio for Friday's groundbreaking celebration for a huge new computer chip facility. Biden, a major force behind the legislation that helped allure Intel, went to suburban Columbus to take a victory lap. In light of the period of national mourning now being observed in the United Kingdom after the passing of Queen Elizabeth, the Bank of England's September 2022 meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee has been postponed for a period of 1 week. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Now for a Pecos Valley News update, I'm Jared Sorello. The New Mexico Department of Transportation is starting bridge repairs on the westbound lanes of the Green Street Bridge, US 62 180 in Carlsbad. The work will begin October 1st. Construction will consist of bearing and pier cap replacement, concrete, and joint repairs. The about $1 million project, with an estimated completion of 6 months, is weather permitting. Traffic control will remain in place for the duration of the repairs, with the westbound lanes remaining closed. Commercial motor vehicles are not allowed on this portion of the bridge and are being detoured to New Mexico 200. The city of Roswell now also putting out a notice to property owners about weed control. Carlsbad did similar last week, and now Roswell says city workers have been mowing on city-owned properties. Citizens are strongly urged to do the same to control weeds on their properties in order to help prevent fires from getting out of control. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to 2 amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now, I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
You are invited to a Senior Olympics health promotion event on Tuesday, September 20th to help celebrate the National Falls Prevention Awareness Week at the Roswell Recreation and Aquatic Center from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The event is free for seniors 50 plus and will include topics to help with balance, flexibility, and strength training. Health screenings will include free flu shots, free sack lunch to the first 40 people. The day will also include health education mini workshops on foot and orthopedic care, fun sports demonstrations of pickleball, badminton, cornhole, and dance lessons. No pre-registration required. For more information, call 575-623-5777.
Your home for Kim Commando in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Following a somber procession through the streets of Edinburgh, Scotland, Queen Elizabeth II's casket has now arrived at St. Giles Cathedral. The public will now have an opportunity to pay its respects to the late monarch. Her son, King Charles, led the procession to the cathedral. Earlier in London, Charles addressed Parliament for the first time as king, telling lawmakers he can't help but feel the weight of history which surrounds us.
And which reminds us of the vital parliamentary traditions to which members of both houses dedicate yourselves with such personal commitment for the betterment of us all.
Charles pledging to follow his late mother's example of selfless duty. The White House says that President Biden will be attending next week's state funeral for the Queen at Westminster Abbey in London. A mighty struggle continues to rage in Ukraine.
We had an update this morning from the Ukrainian military saying that 20 villages had been liberated in the last 24 hours. We don't have details about their location, about their names, and I've got to say that it's hard to independently verify those claims. But again, this is part of this operation to retake territory in the northeast of the country, in the Kharkiv region.
That's the BBC's Hugo Bishega in Ukraine. Attorneys for former President Trump urging a federal judge to leave in place her order that bars the Justice Department from pursuing its criminal investigation of documents that had been seized by the FBI from the former president's Mar-a-Lago estate. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 293 points, NASDAQ ahead 109, the S&P 41 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Charlie Dombeck here from Key City Capital. As a practicing CPA for nearly 30 years, I have found that 80% of your ability to grow your wealth is dependent upon two factors: taxes and investment performance. At Key City Capital, we improve investment performance by diversifying capital into off-market investment opportunities in passive rental real estate and alternatives like asset-backed lending. We recover dollars that clients unnecessarily pay in the form of income taxes, creating a lifetime annuity of savings. We are a sponsor of passive, affordable single and multifamily residential rental investments, which are located in Sunbelt landlord-friendly states. These investments are the top choices in a rising interest rate and inflationary environment. They represent a store of value, protecting your capital from market volatility. Learn how we at Key City Capital can help you ultimately grow your wealth rapidly. Connect with me at keycitycapital.com or give me a call at 817-912-1569.
ISIS says it has killed 6 U.S.-backed Syrian fighters in eastern Syria, saying that the killing was in retaliation for an ongoing operation inside a sprawling camp housing tens of thousands of family members of the terrorist group. An ISIS-affiliated news agency releasing a video showing the shooting of the 6 members of the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces. Court in Dubai says a British man suspected of masterminding a $1.7 billion tax scheme cannot be extradited to Denmark to face charges. The decision in the high-profile case grants the hedge fund trader Sanjay Shah a victory against Danish authorities who sought him for his role in one of the country's largest ever fraud cases. Today's court ruling, which judges delivered without explanation, can be appealed by prosecutors. However, the appeal must be filed within a period of 30 days. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. COVID-19 remains a major public health concern in the Philippines. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. extending his immediate predecessor's virus control policies.
Previous President Rodrigo Duterte placed the entire Philippines under a state of calamity in March 2020 because of the coronavirus. Now Marcos Jr.'s press secretary says the state of calamity, which was to expire on Monday, may be extended by around 3 months, primarily to allow emergency purchases and provide hazard allowances for healthcare workers. Masks will still have to be worn in crowded areas where people can't observe social distancing. The Philippines and Myanmar are the last 2 countries in Southeast Asia that still require the wearing of masks outdoors. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Wall Street off to a good start for the week. The Dow up 255 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Checks notes. Tres inviernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday.
Yes, welcome to it.
I always look at the clock.
Every time. You know what? It puts a smile on my face. It's a little Mikeyism.
I'm a creature of habit. I've always been, and I always will be.
Dude, more power to you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, and okay. I annoy people sometimes with when I'm listening to a song that I like, especially that I really, really like.
Yeah.
I will sing along to that song. Generally, I'll sing like every word of that song to a point, to almost an annoying extent.
Gotcha.
I also have been known to, if I listen to like a stand-up bit that I know really well, I'll recite it along with the comic. It's not exactly the funnest thing in the world, but it physically hurts if I don't do these things. It's like an OCD thing. It's like, I don't feel right if I don't do the things.
I think my wife's the same way.
Right.
When it comes to singing the song. Because we'll be in the car and song will come on the radio and you start singing to it. But here's the thing that makes me laugh is sometimes she doesn't even like the song.
Same.
Like, it's a song she doesn't like. And she's singing. I'm like, you don't even like this song. I know, I'm just singing. And it's like,
yep.
But you don't like the song. You don't hear me going, red, red wine, every time that song comes on, because I hate that.
I love that song so
much. To be
much.
honest, now that the more I think about it, if someone said, what is the most dreadful song that you've ever heard, and every time you hear it, you want to throw yourself out the window, it's Red, Red Wine, that song right there.
Though.
It's the whining. It's the.
I was so.
Oh, UB40.
Mad with time.
I was so happy when UB40 was not relevant anymore because that song was. Oh, it just annoyed me.
Goes to my head.
Oh, I hate this song.
Good.
So awful.
Just because you don't like intonation in music.
The guy sounds like he's whining the whole time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'd rather have over
Yeah, I'll take it all day over that whining.
It's basically one level of whining versus another level of whining. Yours is just a little lower pitched.
It just hits the note.
Whining versus moaning.
It's why dogs go at a certain pitch, and that one makes me go.
Red wine. But the point is
that song
yes,
stinks.
Fair enough. The point is that yes, I have been known to certain songs that, like, because of the station that I work on is top 40 radio essentially. There's a lot of songs that you'll hear every 3 hours. I don't like those songs after hearing them 7 or 8 times a day. That being said, I will sing every word of that song just because it gets in my head if I don't.
And I think that might be why, because that song in its heyday, which I was walking the earth for, was played like every second, everywhere you look. And so to this day I hear it, it's too soon.
It's still too soon. Oh, you know what? That's just not right. I would argue, though, that my personal favorite of their songs was it
I couldn't get past that one. So name another UB40 song. I'm like, no, I will not.
I thought it was them. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
I could be wrong on
You were this years old when you learned that this song was not by UB40.
That's not UB40?
Because it's not as whiny.
It's Big Mountain.
But listen, it's not as whiny.
I spent my whole life thinking this was UB40.
It's not.
Shadows go so long before my eyes.
It's not as whiny as Red Red Wine.
There was a whole genre of whiny reggae, reggae adjacent music in the 90s. I literally thought my whole life that was UB40. Yes.
We're in a copycat world. There's two of everything.
It was just UB40.
We can't even have Tombstone come out without Wyatt Earp coming out. You think there was another band like UB40?
Dude, this is massive. I had no idea. How? You learn something new every doggone day.
This is Dante's Peak and Volcano all over again.
I have listened to that song with RDS on a screen in front of me and not bothered to look down.
Because you just knew. Because
I just assumed. When you hear a song and you know who it is, you don't want to be that guy that looks at the radio to check because you're like, well, you're a DJ, you can't do that. So I got to keep my ass confidently forward, sing every word of the song to a band that I didn't even know.
He's got to go on.
Man, dude, this is that's a lot.
He's got to go frolic now.
That's a lot to pray. I need to go to a field and frolic this out. That's a lot to process. It's not getting bigger than that. There you go, folks. Baby, I love your weight. Not in fact UB40.
All right, but don't gloss over the headline here. UB40 stinks. Red Red Wine is the worst song ever made. That's the point of that story. So
I still stand by the fact that I like that song. But I also thought, man, I got nothing to stand on anymore. I'm just going to shut up.
Man, there's not enough red wine on the planet to make that song palatable. Anyway, let me give you the rundown of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a minute. Then here about in just a few minutes, we'll have Tracy Fry join us with the Roswell Public Library. Give us an update on what's happening out at the library. There's always lots of great free things for your family to enjoy. So we'll talk about that with her in just a bit. Later on, we'll get you up to date with the news of the local variety, along with your Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Before we do any of that, though, let's take a look at your weather, which it's not bad. It's kind of garden. Although I'm not going to lie, I was hoping for more rain yesterday. It was nice and rainy when I woke up, and I was like, oh, it's going to be a good day, but good day, Mike. And I kind of went away after that. I mean, now, granted, my wife did chicken and dumplings, so we're going to be eating them for the next 6 days, but it was perfect because we did it planning that it was supposed to be like cold and rainy yesterday, and so it didn't work out quite that way. But the chicken and dumplings were still good. But now it's day 2 today because it's like soup. Chicken dumplings like soup. It's always better the second day. 5th day, not so much, but 2nd day, it's good. All right, it is 9:13. Here's your weather, which has nothing to do with chicken and dumplings.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty nice today. We'll stay at around the 90-degree mark on the afternoon high, and we have high pressure overhead, so we get sunshine. Overnight, a few clouds and our low in the mid-60s, and then it looks like a mix of sunshine and clouds coming up on Tuesday. We'll stay in the upper 80s across most of the area, and we could pick up a late-day shower or thunderstorms, scattered thunderstorms on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 67 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 76%. Winds currently out of the south at 6 miles per hour. Sunny today. Highs expected to reach 90 degrees with winds out of the south at around 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Expect an overnight low of around 65 degrees with southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tuesday, rain chances. Slight, but rain chances. 30% chance for some afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. Mostly sunny otherwise. Highs in the upper 80s, 88 officially, with southwest winds at around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rains at 20% for tomorrow night, mainly before midnight. Mostly cloudy. Overnight low of 62 with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, they're saying a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon. Partly cloudy otherwise. Highs around 85 degrees with south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. And then glancing at the rest of the week, Thursday, sunny skies, highs right around 88. Friday, sunny skies, highs right around 90. And then sunny and 91 for Saturday, sunny and 92 on Sunday. All right, it is 15 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a quick commercial break. About a minute and a half break here. And then Tracy Fry with the Roswell Public Library will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Come on down. The Price is Right sales event is on at Roswell Nissan with huge savings like a 2020 Sentra for just $289 a month or a 2014 Avalon for just $219 a month. Play Plinko to win cash just for stopping by, a movie ticket or a Home Depot gift card with a test drive and a choice of prizes with purchase, and register to play the Superhero Punch game with 16 big winners, including gift cards, a Ninja Blender, and even a 40-inch TV. Drawing September 17th at 1 p.m. On now at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd. Don't forget to have your pets spayed and neutered.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
This is Dallas Cowboys football 2022.
In the gun, Prescott, inside handoff, Elliott.
Only heard here.
Bouncing right with a convoy to the 5, near the pylon.
all season.
Touchdown, Ezekiel Elliott, 13 yards.
Sunday afternoon, it's your Cowboys and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Live from AT&T Stadium.
On this Dallas Cowboys radio network station.
Pre-game 1:30, kickoff at 2:30 on Southeastern Mexico's official Cowboy station, 92.9 The Brand.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Men are 6 times more likely to be struck by lightning than women. That's because men are 6 times more likely to wear a tinfoil hat in a thunderstorm. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 17 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Public Library, Tracy Fry back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. How's life at the library? Are people keeping and busy? I know that, we've back to school, things are busy, but so summer reading program, all the excitement of the summer not happening at the library right now. But
right.
But as you guys have shifted into your fall curriculum,
yes,
I imagine just different times when the library is crowded now as opposed to like during the summer. You'd probably see all day because kids
right.
are parents, but now I imagine. But after school and maybe lunch times and things.
Wednesday afternoons because the elementary schools get out early.
Yeah, so
Saturdays,
things
even
get busy
Sundays, because we're open Sundays now.
And then all those kids that have those reports due Monday that they didn't tell nobody about till Sunday afternoon, they're in the library getting that done.
I guess so.
I was a kid. I know how that works. But it's good to see, and of course. If you're not aware, the library is a great resource for families here to help with, fun stuff, but also learning and things like that. If your kids having struggles in school and things, the library has lots of resources to help you do all that stuff that's outside the school that can add to whatever your child's doing in the schools kind of thing. So please think of that as a resource if you need help with your kids or, you don't have to have a need. You just want something to read. And
I just want to get out of the house.
Yeah. Maybe looking for a new book to read or looking for something different to do. So.
Right.
Yeah. So that being said, I'm sure there's a slew of activities going on at the library here this month and next for folks to kind of put on their calendars and put on radars here. So where do we want to start?
Well, we can start with today.
Okay.
This afternoon, we have a program called Dropping Hobbies. It's for adults. It's from like 1 to 3.
Okay.
And today we're going to be making keychains, pearl bead keychains.
Okay, so people want to do the beading and that kind of thing.
Right. They want to come on in and check it out. They're more than welcome.
Yeah, and these are is this one free to cost?
Everything is free.
All you got to do is have an interest and
just walk in.
Get into the library. That's basically it.
Right.
So good deal. And that's at what time today?
1 to 3.
1 to 3 this afternoon. Is it come and go? So if you can't roll until 2, no big deal.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay, good deal. So anytime to 1 to 3, come on by and work on some keychains and learn about beadwork and maybe get that bug for
chat.
Yeah. Visiting and meeting new people. Too.
Right.
Yeah. So that's today.
Yes.
All right. Good deal.
And then tomorrow's Tuesday, so we have restarted our Mother Goose on the Loose in English and Spanish.
Okay.
So the Mother Goose on the Loose in English is at 10:30 in the morning on Tuesdays, and at 5 p.m. on Tuesdays in English and Spanish.
For Spanish and English. Okay.
Right.
Perfect. This is one of those things that you and I have talked about this before. I don't care what your predominant language is for your child.
Yes.
Take them to both because the more you expose that to the kids, the more they're going to absorb at this level. And I don't care who you are. It's always a good thing to have a couple foreign languages under your belt, and if you're able to speak multiple languages, that generally bodes well for you and your child much more than it doesn't. So, so even if Spanish is not their predominant language, bring them out to story time and let them do compare and contrast and start listening. And who knows, next thing you know, they might pick up some Spanish. And when it's time for formal training in a foreign language, they've already got the
little words.
Yeah, exactly.
The basic words.
It'll stick a lot better. So,
right.
It's kind of like I have a friend, my brother, actually. My brother went to college with one of his friends, still friends to this day, years later. He's Russian. But he grew up. His mom came to New York City when he was a very young child.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have a lick of English in him. And he literally, because he was immersed in the culture of the TV.
He didn't have a choice.
And if you would talk to him today, now granted he's an adult now and he's a kid, so it's been 30-some years or whatever. but when you talk to him today, you probably would not know he's Russian.
Right.
Until you had a lengthy conversation. Certain words he still has accents on, but if you just have a short, quick conversation with him, you probably and he learned it all just from being immersed in the culture, watching TV, weirdly enough, seeing all of it on TV. But that's the kind of the point I'm making is expose your kids to a lot of that when they're immersed in it. They pick it up by osmosis or whatever. It's just and next thing you know, and to me that's kind of the lessons that when you teach kids things, you can't put a measuring stick on that. It's just it's so please, if you've got the time and the ability, please expose your kids to as much of this as possible. You'll be setting them up for success down the road. So,
right.
Just my opinion on that.
That's just your 2 cents.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's see. On Wednesday, we're going to have our preschool story time at 10:30.
Okay.
And then we have a music and movement story time on the Thursdays at 10:30. So
okay.
We have choices of story times.
Good deal. And stuff to get the kids active and moving a little bit. Maybe tucker them out a little bit when you take them home.
That's the whole point. And then on Thursday this week, we're going to start our adult book club.
Okay.
Because the library didn't have one for a while.
Okay. So now the fall's coming and picking back up.
Right.
Do we have a book selected that's going to be the book club book?
This month, it's The Guest List by Lucy Foley.
Okay. That sounds familiar to me.
Yeah.
The Guest List.
It came out in 2020.
Was it a pretty popular, mainstream book?
I think it was on the New York Times bestseller list.
Okay. That's, that bestseller list. It turns out those are pretty popular, aren't they?
Yeah. Some of them are pretty good, too.
But it was to a point where it was like making the rounds on TV and all that.
Right.
Kind of certain books get that run, like. The one that first comes to my mind is The Shack, if you remember that one. That was literally just a gentleman, not Tom Clancy or something rolling in.
Right.
And just, next thing you know, that thing went mega huge.
Yeah.
And, this one, I was like, this sounds like a book in that same vein that, like, I've heard of it.
And then they made a movie, so then that even made it more popular.
Okay.
Like, we get a lot of people coming in now asking for Where the Crawdads Sing, because the movie's out. They saw the movie and now they want to read the book.
Yeah. Well, it's not always the best way to learn about a story.
Right.
But if that's how you found the story and they end up reading the book, then it's a win either way.
Right.
So I know you and I have joked about that in the past. But the books are always 10 times better than the movies.
Yeah.
And even the big authors, like I've told the Stephen King story about Hearts in Atlantis a couple times on here. But Stephen King, you're like, all right, that's arguably one of the most well-known authors on the planet, you know, and they take his books and butcher them up real bad too. So
some of the movies are kind of okay. Let's not just say butcher.
A lot of the movies are good. Don't get me wrong, but when you read the book, and then you're like, man, they missed half the story here.
Oh yeah, because some of his books are kind of long, so they would have to, unless it be a 3-4 hour movie.
Yeah, and to be honest, the ones they made the best movies out of was the short stories he did.
Exactly.
Like that Seasons book that was like a bunch. And for folks that don't know, out of that book came Shawshank Redemption.
Yes.
Apt Pupil.
That was so good.
The Stand By Me was from that one.
Yes.
It's called The Body in there, but it's the same story. So, and arguably, those are probably the best movies that were adapted from Stephen King books.
Yes.
And all of them are short stories. When they take the novels, like The Running Man and... which, by the way, if you ever watched the movie The Running Man in the 80s, it's a great movie, fun movie.
Yes.
Again, the Stephen King book, not remotely. The only common thread is that it's called The Running Man, and the main character's name is the same. Other than that, it's pretty much a different story. But anyway, I move on.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about what else is going on here. Okay. So we've been having on Saturdays, and we've been having a fun day, which would be like either Legos or board games. And then also they have a STEM. I'm not sure what the STEM is this Saturday, but they're going to have STEM, and since we're open on Sundays too, they have the same STEM project on Saturday and then on Sunday from 2 to 4.
So whatever works best in your family
Correct.
schedule, if it's Saturday or Sunday, come on out. You won't miss a thing.
Correct. And then plus we're going to be also at the Piñata Festival. The library is going to be there with a booth.
Oh, okay, cool. So you got signing people up for cards and things, I'm guessing?
Yeah, and just letting them know what's going on at the library. Maybe we can
talk about events and things like that.
Exactly.
And so if you're over there and they're giving out free stuff, don't get cheese fingers all over the stuff.
No, that's the following week. The chili cheese.
Well, there's always stuff with cheese on it, no matter where you go.
True.
Piñata Fest or Chili Cheese Festival.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. There's usually places with copious amounts of meat, cheese, and green chili. So
New Mexico.
That's right.
Okay, so our next big adult thing we're going to have is gardening in the library. And we have
cool.
Drew Garrett coming.
Okay.
And he's going to talk about soil.
He's from the ag office.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's going to share information about New Mexico soil, plants, and water. And then from there, he's going to take anybody's ideas that they would like to have a talk about.
Okay.
He's going to come once a month.
Cool. Yeah, if you're not, we have Drew on about once a month as well. Drew's with the Chaves County Extension Office.
Right.
And he's the ag agent for them. So normally, like when people come to talk about pesticides and are my pecans got weevils in them or not, things like that, that's what he does. That's what but when he's not helping the commercial folks, he has a vast amount of information about, gardening and stuff for the home gardeners too. So his information just doesn't apply to cash commercial crops. It's to the families that just want to put some corn and some cucumbers in the backyard or something like that.
And that's who he's really talking to that will be coming on Saturdays. Is your personal garden.
Yeah.
Questions about whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So he's a great source of information.
Yes.
So if you're wanting to learn about this stuff, please go there. He's and if he can't answer your question there, he'll definitely get back to you and find out that information. He's very good about that kind of stuff too. So
he'll be there on the 24th at 10 a.m.
Okay.
And he'll be coming once a month, like I said. And he just fell on that Saturday, but from this point on, starting in October, it'll be the third Saturday. He'll come at 10 a.m.
Okay, perfect.
And let's see. The next big thing that's going to happen, since we're open on Saturdays, I wanted to do I'm now in charge of the adult programming.
Okay.
And so I wanted to do something on Sundays, so maybe once a month music.
Yeah.
So we're
little adult time for the mom and pops and the.
Well, they can bring the kids too, but it's more like adult programming. So we have this program called Good Vibrations on Sundays.
Okay.
And on October 9th, we're going to have Felix K.N. Galante.
Okay.
I met him over at the farmer's market. I was there. And he's going to be playing the xylophone. And he's going to be there from 2:30 to 3:30.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of people still play the xylophone. That's
And he sounded very good. So I said, do you have a cart? And
well, there's certain instruments that not a lot of people play, but the ones that do are very good at and are very beautiful at it. Yeah, and the xylophone's one of those instruments.
Yes.
Yeah. I seem to remember it was bigger when I was a kid. Like there was always, as a kid, you always have xylophone players and bands and orchestras and things, but you don't see it as much now. And maybe I just don't notice, but it's so cool. So he's an accomplished xylophonist, I guess you could say.
I think he's kind of associated also. I thought I read on the internet that he's associated with the jazz.
Okay, the
Roswell Jazz.
The Roswell Jazz Ensemble and all that's a jazz festival too. Yeah, because I imagine that's where you hear a lot of xylophone music is in the orchestral jazz music, things like that too.
Right.
So, good deal. So he's going to be there on what date again?
That's going to be on October 9th, and it's going to be from 2:30 to 3:30.
Okay.
And we're going to have coffee and probably some treats, and just going to have like a kickback type Sunday afternoon if you want to come in.
Some music and Does he do original stuff or I don't know, how does it?
I'm not sure, but whatever he was playing at the farmer's market, it was
very beautiful.
Yes.
Was he sing too, or is he just?
No, he was just playing.
Because it's kind of like an accompaniment instrument. It's not generally the lead instrument in a song per se. But
when he was over there, it was just him playing the xylophone, and it was beautiful.
So very much good for background, good for setting the mood of the. So
everybody can chill in the library and
just kind of kick back and zone out and listen to music. And, or maybe pick up a newspaper or book or something and.
Right, and listen to it. Or he comes sit over, have coffee with us, and
chit chat.
Right.
Yeah, not too loud though.
No.
I don't want to interrupt the music.
You got to take that outside now.
Right. No talking. No, but yeah, it sounds like it'd be a nice, fun Sunday afternoon.
Right.
Come back, enjoy some music, and enjoy just a little quiet unwind time there.
And we're going to have someone playing music once a month, starting in October.
So this will
on
be a
Sundays,
monthly
yeah, we have a
event.
guy named J.D. Cox is supposed to be coming in November because I heard him playing over at Pico's, and he was very fun.
Good deal.
And then we, every month we have already planned out.
Nice.
So just one Sunday a month, and maybe we'll do something else on another Sunday. But right now, that's how we're starting off.
Good deal. So
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yes.
Are you the music buff that's just going around seeing some of these artists and saying, man, I'd love to have you at the library. Come on down.
That's me.
That's you. You're the music buff?
I'm the one that goes and I go, he sounds pretty good. And then
Nice.
I'm always, it seems like when I go out to eat, sometimes I'm with people from the library and they're like, Tracy, go get his card. And then I go,
oh, they
"Yeah."
set you up too. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you.
And I go, which? And then I have to go over and, hi, I'm with the library and blah, blah, blah. And so.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, good deal. Plus, you probably get some nice artists, exposed to some cool music and stuff from time to time.
Yeah, I would really love to get just mostly local.
Yeah.
And so if
Roswell's very blessed that way. We have a great music scene here in Roswell, and it's any given weekend you can go around town and you'll find some great local artists playing at various venues around town, whether it's a bar or restaurant or more formal venue. But we are very blessed for people that live here and they come from nearby to come and play and things. So it's great to see the library's able to say, you know what, let's give them another platform to come and expose their music and give opportunity for folks to come and hear and see what they're doing. So
I've seen at other libraries, not necessarily in New Mexico, but in other states, they have like once a month they'll have music there, and it's just music. It's just people coming in and enjoying the music, and it's all types of music. So it's it's not
this is how you get exposed to music that you're not normally accustomed to hearing. I know we all have our little grooves or little niches that we're like, I'm a rock and roll guy, or I'm an R&B person, or I'm whatever you're into. And then there's other genres that, unless you grew up around it or knew something, you're probably not familiar with it. And that's where events like this get you a chance. Because like I said, I haven't seen someone play xylophone in years. I'm sure there's a generation of people, they're like, what is a xylophone? They have no idea what it is. And
you're more than welcome to come on the 9th and check it out.
Yeah, come see what it's all about and see what that's. He's like, what is this thing? It's kind of like the theremin's one of those for me. Yeah, that's one of those instruments because it's one of the most iconic sounds that everyone knows.
Star Trek,
but no one knows that it's an instrument. If you ever listen to the original Star Trek, that's a theremin doing that, and it's one of those. It's like the bagpipes.
Right.
When people that know how to play it, it's a beautiful instrument. But if you don't, it sounds like you're killing cats or something. It's just bad.
We had to go there. Okay.
So anyway, come out and check out some of these artists, and especially when it's unique instruments or unique experiences that you normally don't see in the mainstream there.
Right.
Come check it out. You might be pleasantly surprised on finding some new stuff here.
And it's free.
And it's free of charge. Doesn't cost you a dime. So.
Right. So you can just check them out.
Yeah. Best thing I could tell you is swing on by the library this week and pick up the calendars. Each month they put out a new calendar, and it's usually in 2-month cycles. Usually they have the front and back on there, don't you?
No, it's just we have out September, and we're about to put out October. So.
I got you. Okay, but yeah, grab those and then put them on your fridge or put them wherever you keep that kind of stuff, and that way you can plan ahead and say, oh, later this month they're going to have so and so at the library, or they're going to have this fun craft event for the kids. They'll love that. Let's come out to that, or you know
book
what?
Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'd like to sign up for book club and get involved and read. And like you said, you're picking kind of a book that got a little bit of mainstream popularity.
Well, I enjoyed the book.
Yeah.
So I just chose. And after the book club gets established, this will be the first meeting. And then as it goes along, if the participants have suggestions, I'm open to them also.
Absolutely. Well, that's the whole point of book club, is to kind of get you to read things that you may not normally read. We again, back to the music. It's the same thing at niches. We all like, oh, I love Stephen King, therefore I just
I know
read
you
mysteries.
love red wine and all that.
Yeah, big fan. But but yeah, we get, or John Grisham, whatever it is you're into,
Right.
and then you just end up reading that, and you get in these kind of pigeonholed, and then you miss. So signing up and joining a book club, and you're like, wow, that seems weighty, or that seems,
No.
and then you're like, you know, because obviously certain books have certain subject matters and more serious than others, and you're kind of, but when you push yourself to find things that on the surface doesn't seem like something you're interested in,
right?
You tend to find out that you end up being more interested than you thought. You're like, huh. Although this storyline's not my cup of tea, but some of the details and some of the information is fascinating, or something I take interest in. And that's really at the heart of what a book club is about. And then the other side of it is, now that you have a group of people reading the same book, you probably get 12 different interpretations of that book.
Exactly. That's the fun part, is discussing it and seeing, because there's always that one. I was running a book club in Virginia, and it was this one lady that always said, she told me all the problems in the book that she felt. And she's an older lady, and we just go, okay. And then I would pick something that's really off the wall for them to read, and they would be like, I can't wait to discuss this one, because it was just so what they were not expecting.
Sure. And that's the fun part about book clubs. So please sign, even if you're like, yeah, that book's not my cup of tea here. Check it out. Come see, and you might find out it's more of your cup of tea than you thought it was.
And then you get to meet people and discuss things.
Worst comes to worst, you don't like the book, and no harm, no foul. You read a book you weren't a fan of, move on about your day. But you might just turn out to be something you're into, and be like, you know what? Now I kind of want to begat this now that I'm with this. And so please call and check out and ask about the book club. Generally, that's first come, first serve on book numbers and all that stuff.
Right.
So I mean, it's generally no problem. People that want to do it, sign up. But it is a limited number that people can sign up for this. So.
Yeah, we have several copies. Books I'm picking already, we have about 10, 15 copies.
So it's enough where you have plenty of.
Yes.
Or you've ordered enough to compensate.
Right.
So.
And if there was something that in the future they suggested that we don't have copies for, we can always get copies so that everyone can have one to read.
Yeah, so if it's, and I know, we've talked in the past, and I'm not sure if this is still a thing, but don't you guys partner with other libraries, like a lending, if you need, we're doing a book club and we've got 10 copies of this book, can we borrow those?
Yes.
And vice versa, we've got 10 of this, do you need that for this? And so there's that bartering.
Loan.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a tool that libraries across the state use to kind of, for programs just like this.
Right.
So,
and then also, if they prefer to read it online, we have the Libby Overdrive app that they can use, so they can use their device.
Download it and read it digitally if you'd like to.
Yes.
Too. So I've always been mixed bag on digital reading. I like it for the convenience factor and all that, but there's something about having the book and the pages and the turning, and when you're done reading, folding the, I don't know if that's a faux pas, but I dog ear the corner and fold it.
No, you don't.
I do, but usually my books when I do it.
Okay.
Actually, library books, I use generally the receipt. I'm sure you get
that's your bookmark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, every time I get a nice one, I lose it.
Okay.
I'll accidentally leave it in the book when I'm done, and then I don't know what happens to it, if it's on a shelf somewhere, or I let someone borrow it. Probably still in that
same book.
Yeah, I probably go to a bunch of books on my shelf, open up, there's a bookmark in the back just stuck there.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
But come out and come read a new book. Come check it out. So, is there any other events we want to make sure we cover?
Well, we'll discuss next time I come about, but everyone should know that we're going to have the Dia de los Muertos celebration at the end of October.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about that more next time.
Here in October? Yeah.
Yes.
And that's always a fun event if you never participated, because you kind of learn the history of Dia de los Muertos, why it is what it is, some of the traditional stories and songs of the event. Always the kids are about making the sugar skulls and that kind of stuff.
Right. We're going to have sugar skulls. Yeah. We're going to have, I think they're going to have the service again where they're going to have a father come in and
do the blessings and all that.
Do the blessings and everything. And I believe we're going to have dancing also.
Awesome.
So it'll be a fun event.
So if you always wondered, and you always see the things, and you're like, Dia de los Muertos, and you see all the stuff, and you kind of come learn the actual history behind it and why it is celebrated and why, obviously people that grew up in the culture and everything know exactly why. But for the rest of us that did not, come see it and see why they do it around Halloween and why there's similarities there and what's the connections and what's all that. And they do it in a way there for the kids so everybody understands.
Right, everyone enjoys it. Yes, they had a very good time last year. So.
Yeah. And they, if I remember right, they usually read traditional stories of Dia de los Muertos, sing the songs that are traditional to Dia de los Muertos and things like that.
Yeah.
Too, so.
Yeah, we had the entertainment on one side, and then we had Diana, who came here once before. She read the story of La Lorna. Was it La Lorna?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
La Rona. Yeah,
that one.
I can't. I botch it
Yes.
every time. Not intentionally. My brain doesn't work that way. So.
You need more coffee.
Apparently, yeah, and do tongue exercises to work the tongue. But so please come out. So we'll talk more about it next month here when we're here. But put it on your calendars because as we all know, there's usually a bevy of events going on right around the holiday here with trick or treat, trunk or treats, fall festivals, things like that. Library always does their annual Dia de los Muertos celebration, and so we'll talk more about it. But put it on your calendars and make plans to come out. Again, completely free, all of that stuff. It's just an opportunity for your kids to come and learn to eat more candy, but then learn about, it's always dangle the carrot. Come for candy, kids, and then when they get there, they learn a bunch of stuff. So. Don't forget, the library is there for you. If you're everything that you do at the library, 99.9999% of the times is completely free of charge. Doesn't cost you anything. Get a library card. If you don't have one or your kids don't have one, it's free to sign up for, and it is your key to the world of the library. Everything there.
And if you misplace your library card, just come on in with your ID and you'll get a free replacement. It doesn't cost anything.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Is there a quota on that? Like, because some people are a little less responsible than others. If you're constantly losing this thing, at some point you're going to be like, all right, you need to.
Presently, we'll just say presently they are free.
Very good. Yeah, but you don't test the system.
They'll come back 3 times in a month.
Yeah. Then we're going to look at you like, what are you doing? Like, we need to learn. Maybe there's a bigger problem here than keeping your card. Maybe we need to learn to get you organized. So, but please, and don't forget, there are so many resources available to you with that card that you technically don't even have to set foot in the library to take advantage of. There's, if you go to the city's website, roswell-nm.gov, you'll find a tab for the Roswell Public Library there.
Right.
Go there, and you can access the online resources, like if you want to get like music and things like that, or if you want to need some tutoring help with your kids and stuff. There's avenues to do that through the online.
You want to look at the old newspapers, you have to come in and actually use our computer to access old, like Roswell Daily Records.
I got you, the old periodicals and things like that. But yeah, if you're looking from everything from movies and music to tutoring to audiobooks, things like that, you'll find it all online.
Yes.
Now, you have a card, come on in the library and check it out. But if you need something real quick or something like or something digital like that, you can literally do it all online yourself. Again, you just need to have that card and be in good standing. So if you don't have that card, you can't do any of this stuff. So go get the card, and then you're good to go after that. So, excellent.
Yes.
Give out the hours now. Of course, like you said, they got Sunday hours now. So let's just recap all that for folks here.
So our hours now are Monday through Thursday from 10 to 7.
Okay.
Friday and Saturday is from 10 to 6. And Sunday is 2 to 6.
Okay. So now open just about, anytime you want it to, when you need it there. And, of course, don't forget they got the book drop-off. That's 24/7. So even if it's after hours, you can swing by and drop the book off. It's got a digital thing where it checks in and all that. So you don't have to worry about late fees and all that. It annotates when exactly you scan it in. So you don't have to worry about calling, oh, no, I turned it in before. No, it has all that taken care of. So, and, of course, if you have any questions or anything, don't hesitate to come to the front desk or the children's desk, and they'll be happy to answer those questions and things for you. I know we're in the fall season here, and not as many people are driving around and touring and stuff, but the library still has from the tourism department, basically a pass that gets up to 6 people free into many different museums and events around the state. Anything from, like off the top of my head, Lincoln. The courthouse in Lincoln is one of those things.
And the Space Museum in
Alamogordo.
Right.
The Museum of the Horse or Cowboy in Cruces is one of those. No. It's one of those.
Yes, yeah. That's correct.
Some of the art museums in Santa Fe and Albuquerque fall in there. I want to say the Nuke Museum in Albuquerque is on there too, but I'm not 100%
I'm not too
certain.
sure about that one.
Yeah. I think if it's not, it was at one point. I remember seeing it on there one time.
But they're more than welcome to call the library and we can tell them exactly what's on there.
But you can check it out for a week. You have to check it out in person. Can't do it online, and it's not renewable, so you can't. You get it for 7 days at the time you check it out, and you have to return it 7 days later. So plan accordingly. It's first come, first serve. They don't reserve it or anything for people.
Right.
You just got to walk up to the desk, say, "Hey, do you have the tourism pass? I'd like to check it out for the next 7 days." And they have several copies.
Right. So there's normally one in the drawer at all times.
So that way you get it, and then you take it, go enjoy your trip, and then when you come back before 7 days are over, make sure you return it back for the next person to use.
Right.
And again, it gets, like I said, it gets up to like 6 people in for free. And I know just in Lincoln alone, I think it costs about $8-9 a person.
Yes.
To get someone in. So times 6, that's $60 right there.
Right.
That you just saved your family. That's probably lunch at one of the fine establishments here in Lincoln or Ruidoso or wherever you go there.
Yes.
So just think about that.
Yeah.
Of course, give out the phone number for the Library of Amazing Questions.
Okay. Our phone number is 575-622-7101.
Good deal. And of course, you can also like and follow the Roswell Public Library on Facebook and Instagram. And those are good ways. So if you're if you're more of a digital person and don't like papers and stuff anymore and don't want to go get calendars to put on your refrigerator and stuff, then at least like and follow the Facebook and Instagram, because that way you'll get a digital version of what's coming up and what's happening and things like that.
And we're also including our activities on that. If you just Google search events in Roswell, the community calendar, you'll see us all the way down at the bottom, and it'll list all the activities.
So you can kind of stay up to date through the city's website too.
Correct.
On library happenings.
Right.
Good deal. So utilize it. Come on out and whether you need it to help your kids get better grades and things like that, or if you're just looking for a new place for some entertainment, the library's got you covered.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Good deal. Do we get it all, Tracy?
I believe so.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ma'am. As always, appreciate the visit. We'll see you here next time, okay?
Okay.
All right. It is 9:49. Let's pause for news. Your Sean Hannity update, quick commercial break as well. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Sorello. The New Mexico Department of Transportation is starting bridge repairs on the westbound lanes of the Green Street Bridge, US 62 180 in Carlsbad. The work will begin October 1st. Construction will consist of bearing and pier cap replacement, concrete, and joint repairs. The about $1 million project, with an estimated completion of 6 months, is weather permitting. Traffic control will remain in place for the duration of the repairs, with the westbound lanes remaining closed. Commercial motor vehicles are not allowed on this portion of the bridge and are being detoured to New Mexico 200. The city of Roswell now also putting out a notice to property owners about weed control. Carlsbad did similar last week, and now Roswell says city workers have been mowing on city-owned properties. Citizens are strongly urged to do the same to control weeds on their properties in order to help prevent fires from getting out of control. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Fertilizer's up 400%. The biggest problem is seeds are up 100%. And that means that farmers are not farming anymore. We have a Biden-nominated banking chief, new Fed banking chief, who's going to target crypto and climate change. A Fed banking chief, his priority is climate change. You got to be kidding me. They're so clueless in every way imaginable. But this is why the only thing you're going to hear from Democrats is demagoguery, smearing, slandering, besmirchment, and character assassination. That's all they've got.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
You know, there's no sign that identity theft is slowing down, and frankly, why should it? You have more than $14 billion stolen from identity theft victims last year alone. Now, to cyber criminals, that's their success story. To the rest of us, it's a wake-up call. Now, all of us are putting our personal information at risk every day in more places than ever, and all of that exposure can make it really dangerous and easy to steal your identity. Now, LifeLock by Norton, they make it easy to help protect yourself by monitoring your identity and alerting you to threats that you could miss on your own. If you become a victim, you will get a U.S.-based LifeLock restoration specialist that will be dedicated to your case and help you fix it. Now, look, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor every single transaction of every single business, but if you use my name, Hannity, you'll save an additional 25% off your first year. Just call 1-800-LifeLock or go to LifeLock.com. Use the promo code Hannity, 1-800-LifeLock, LifeLock.com, promo code Hannity.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty nice today. We'll stay at around the 90-degree mark on the afternoon high, and we have high pressure overhead, so we get sunshine. Overnight, a few clouds and our low in the mid-60s, and then it looks like a mix of sunshine and clouds coming up on Tuesday. We'll stay in the upper 80s across most of the area, and we could pick up a late-day shower or thunderstorms, scattered thunderstorms on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Wall Street opened higher this morning as investors await the latest readout on inflation, including a report tomorrow on inflation and consumer prices during the month of August. Great skill and good luck, two ingredients that Treasury Secretary Yellen says will be required for the Federal Reserve to successfully combat inflation without damaging the economy. 65% of small businesses say they've had to hike prices to offset higher costs. According to a Goldman Sachs survey, 38% reported drop in customer demand due to price increases. President Biden launching a new initiative to encourage biotech production and research in the U.S. He signed an executive order implementing the initiative, and later, in remarks at the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library in Boston, he will address how biotech can help in the fight against cancer. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance Agency.
Sometimes when you hit the road hits back. That's why MTA Mechanics and Tire carries major brands like Bridgestone, Cooper, and Michelin. Not only do you get top brand tires, but you also get a nationwide warranty. So wherever you are, MTA Mechanics and Tire has you covered. Stop by or let MTA come to you with their MTA Mobile Tire Shop, covering Roswell, Carlsbad, and Artesia. They can come to your home, office, or even the airport, and alignment is included on all sets of 4 tires. MTA Mechanics and Tires, getting you back on the road.
Being called a fox in your marriage might not always be a good thing. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and my wife, Miss Julie, for the Joy of Marriage.
In Song of Solomon, it says, "Catch all the foxes, those little foxes, before they ruin the vineyard of love." I looked up the word fox, and it means cunning, achieving one's goal by deceit or evasion. A female fox is a vixen, which is spiteful or a combative woman.
Those little things we do to try to get our way can ruin our marriages. Try just being honest and talking through the situation. Do what's best for your marriage, not just for yourself. When Julie and I learned to choose to do what's right instead of trying to be right, our marriage turned around. You will find marriage is so much better when we work together.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
I have a snake for your drain. You might want to step back.
Oh no, baby.
All AC units moke a little. Is normal.
Oh no, baby.
Haha, now your sprinkler system's strong like bull.
Come on now. Don't let any fool work on your plumbing and air conditioning. Fergalicious. From clogged drains to sprinkler systems, Fergie's Plumbing and Heating is on the job. And who are you going to call for air filters and spring servicing on your AC unit? Fergalicious. Call Fergie's today, 622-2660. Nothing but love. Fergalicious.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to 2 amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now, I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
So you think drinking alcohol can't hurt you? It'll mess you up big time. Say adios to large chunks of your brain. Major damage is already being done. Other parts of your body are getting wrecked too. Forget about sports, forget about school, forget about doing much of anything. Underage drinking freaks out your body, messes up your life.
Sponsored by the NMDOT.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.
And good morning. It is closing in on 9:59. We're about going to do it for us for today's show. Of course, if you missed any part, you can always check it out at your leisure. Multiple ways you can do that. Log on to ksvptv.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel. You'll find it there anytime you're ready for it. Also, if you log on to YouTube and go to Roswell Talk FM on YouTube, you'll find all of our videos there. Facebook wall as well, Roswell Talk FM on Facebook. You'll find all of our videos there too. So, but probably the quickest, easiest way, ksvptv.com. And you just go and there's Bulldog Sports, there's Coyote Sports, there's Goddard Sports, there's this show, there's Good Morning Artesia, there's graduations, all kinds of stuff there for you to check out. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thank you very much for allowing us to be a part of your day. Have an amazing day. I know it's Monday and it's hard, but have a good one. We'll be back bright and early 7 a.m. tomorrow. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.